Welcome to Oakham Town Council's meeting on Wednesday the 8th of July at 6:30ish. I'd like to welcome Melton Palmer back to work, and also this evening we have our new Rutland LPU inspector with us, which will come to on the agenda item very shortly. This meeting is being filmed this evening, and any member of the public is permitted to take photographs or film the meeting as they wish, provided it doesn't disturb the proceedings of the meeting. We now move on to item 1 on the agenda, which is the apologies for absence. Do we have any apologies, please?
I have Councillor Padmore business.
Okay. We have no apologies from Councillor Nichols. The chair that because there's been quite a few meetings where he hasn't sent his apologies, and there is the 6-month rule. If we could check, otherwise
Can't see one.
okay then. So, do we have anybody who wishes to propose acceptance for Councillor Andrew Padmore? And a seconder. So if you could keep your hands up for the proposer. Melanie is taking minutes this evening, so if you could direct things to her and record it. Okay, thank you very much. Then we move on to declarations of interest and dispensations. Members to disclose. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I've been told we must get through this in a shorter period than normal, so. But we've got to do it properly.
So, is this the vote?
This is the vote to accept the councillor's apologies. Thank you. And I'm sure you will recall the absence of Councillor Nix. Thank you. Then we move on to item 2, which is the declarations of interest and dispensations. Members to disclose any pecuniary or other interest in any item on the agenda. Members are personally responsible for declaring an interest and are respectively advised to refer to the Code of Conduct for information. Councillors are also responsible for ensuring that their registers of interest are up to date within 28 days of any change. So, are there any interests to declare, please?
Item 29.
Item 29. Can you please ensure that you enter that into the register, which I think is on the back, because I believe last month somebody didn't put it in the register. And Councillor Ainsley declared an interest.
Items 29 and 30.
Okay. Any more? No? Okay. Yeah, it seems I'm missing a sheet. Oh, it's on the back. Sorry, you're being very efficient with the paper. I'm not used to that. Okay. Oh no, I'm missing out the important bit. That's the deputations from members of the public. Before I move on to this, last week we had a bit of a trial and we allowed questions of the police during deputations. I don't feel that that actually really worked, but you will get a chance to ask questions of the police on the agenda item. So we move on to item number 3, which is deputations from the members of the public. Members of the public are invited to speak on items relating to this agenda or raise issues for future consideration. The period of time designated for public participation at a meeting in accordance with Council's standing order shall not exceed 15 minutes, a maximum of 3 minutes per person, and will be under the direction of the chair of the meeting. There is only, this is the only chair, so we if we do have any members of the public that want to give deputations this evening, it's very important that you direct to our clerk this evening your name and whether you live in Oakham or work in Oakham or own a business in Oakham as electors, because she has to record those details. Quite often people speak and don't give a clear name, and then when we come to minuting, it's like, do you remember who that person was? So that's the reason for that. It's a legal process that we have to have everything recorded. So also we have a former councillor who wishes to give him permission to read a statement. So maybe I will do that first, because I know he's got business to go to attend to. So that's former councillor Jonathan Nichols, who is a resident of Oakham. I'll do the business for him.
Yes. Well, yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. You've heard my name. I'm a resident of Oakham. And it is with a heavy heart, actually, I'm bringing to Council to resign as a member of Oakham Town Council. The primary reason is that over the last few months I've taken on quite a lot more extra projects of work, and that has to come first, obviously. It's become clear to me that I can't dedicate the time I would like to this role, or that the residents of Oakham deserve. So I appreciate I've only been a member of the council for about a year. But in that time, I'm pleased to have had the opportunity to vote on matters that are significant to the people of Oakham. And I'm particularly proud to have led the town of culture bid with my fellow committee members, which I hope will influence policy in the future, whether or not that bid is successful. I really hope that that remains on the agenda and people can refer to that. I'm pleased to have met and worked with councillors dedicated to improving the town for the benefit of residents. And it's clear that that's what is at the heart here. It's also clear that Oakham Town Council has been going through a turbulent period. I do hope that the council is able to resolve these issues quickly, cease navel gazing, and get back to the issues that are important to the people, residents of Oakham. And this does begin with respectful and moderate and considerate communication. And if this was to be improved, I think you might find that there's a significant and very diverse group of people who would want to become members of this council, who might be currently put off by the perception of the culture in this chamber. And I hope that that is changed and they will be able to come and join and make excellent councillors. So with that, best wishes to you all. Thank you very much for working with me, and I'll see you around.
I am going to thank you. You won't be here on the chairman's report, so I'll thank you now for what you've brought to Oakham Town Council. Is there any other members of the public who wish to speak to the councillor? Yes, sir.
Barry Smart, Oakham resident. Can Councillor Ainsley explain what his motivation and intent were when he contacted HSBC regarding the Town Council's bank account, which I understand has a balance of £700,000, falsely stated that the clerk had left the council? In any job that I've had, and was involved even with petty cash, I've always taken a rather conservative, transparent approach to handling it. So it seemed crazy that a sole councillor should act in this way regarding an account of the town's substantial assets. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? No? Then we'll close public deputation.
Sorry.
Sorry
for an answer.
What? I said, can he explain?
I'm going to give him the opportunity, but councillor doesn't have to respond. So
I welcome the opportunity to respond. So this is a public response, and essentially it's in response to the Mayor's blog, because that's where the information is being picked up from. There's several inaccuracies, and it's important that everybody is aware of the facts, and I'll just lay them out to you now. There have been accusations of fraud, goodness me, so many. Leicestershire Police Economic Crime Department confirmed that this matter is not a criminal issue, and will only review it if evidence is provided that money has been stolen or defrauded, and no such evidence exists. During a period of staff absence, the council could see 3 of its bank accounts, but could not make payments or transfers because there was not enough authorised signatories available. An application to HSBC, authorised by 2 existing signatories, was submitted so that the temporary RFO could be added. HSBC requested additional security checks, which is normal practice when a primary user is changed. No further action was taken. At this point, it's important to note that no money was moved, no authorities or mandates were changed, transactional access was never activated, and in practical terms, nothing changed. The HSBC letter that's been circulated does not state that the clerk had left employment. It simply records that HSBC had been informed that the primary user had left, without naming the individual concerned. There are several routine ways a bank may receive information during safeguarding checks, and that's what's happening now, which is the right thing to be happening, including inquiries about former staff. In fact, an authorised signatory has indicated that they were asked about a former clerk, Alison Greaves, and confirmed that Mrs. Greaves had left. This is a straightforward, incredible explanation for how HSBC may have formed that view. And it does not relate to the current clerk, nor is it stated that any information is said about the current clerk. I believe that any consideration of member conduct, which I'm certainly must follow the statutory processes managed by the monitoring officer, and that's where it currently sits. I will cooperate fully with formal process. This statement is available on the website should anybody wish to have a look at it. Thank you.
Okay. We will move on. Just so that members of the public know, this is a matter that's coming up a lot that we're hoping to finalise tonight. Because of the issue that it's a councillor being named, the agenda item will be heard in exempt after the meeting, because we are not allowed to discuss issues in public about individuals. But it is being sorted, that's what I'd like to say on that matter. I'll give you one more chance. Is there any more deputations from that? Okay, that's fine, thank you. Now we move on to item number 4, which is titled Police Report. That might change, but we have the inspector here, so I'm going to hand over to him to introduce himself to the councillors and residents, and anything that he might like to share with us, which he can or can't. Well, not can't, never knew me. What he can share with us, because I picked up on something this afternoon about antisocial behaviour in Oakham and on the news, but I thought that related to Uppingham, so you might be able to enlighten us on that. And then after he has spoken, we open up to the members of the public if they have any questions, and the officer will answer them if he can. If he can't, because of, I think they use the word operational issues or something, then he won't. But if he can answer outside the meeting, I'm sure he will take the details and get someone to be in contact with you. So I will hand over now.
Thank you. And thank you very much for allowing me to come and speak today on behalf of Leicestershire Police. I will apologise up front. I do have my mobile phone on because I am on call. So I hope I won't get a call out, but if it does ring, I'm ever so sorry, but that's the reason why. My name, if you don't know already, is Inspector Rowan Paterson-Bell. I'm the Neighbourhood Policing Area Commander for Melton and Rutland. I took over this role 6 weeks ago from my predecessor, Darren Richardson, who went off onto retirement, and I was
snapping at his heels for about 12 months before his retirement to push him out the door so I could take his job from him. So this is a role I've been after for quite some time, really positive about neighbourhood policing and working as a commander for this area. Have a vested interest in Melton and Rutland. I live personally in the Vale of Belvoir on the area, and my eldest child plays rugby here in Oakham itself. So I do care about this area, care about the location, and I'd like to be here for at least the next 2.5 to 3 years before I find a different job or move on somewhere else. But I think you can only stay somewhere for about 2 or 3 years in the police before you get itchy feet to move on somewhere. But that's me and what I'm about. 6 weeks I've been in post, so I'm still finding my feet around neighbourhood policing and things that I'm trying to achieve. My role is strategic overview for policing for the Melton and Rutland areas, and then setting that direction for the sergeants, PCSOs, PCs, and all plethora of other different officers and staff members that I have working for me. My policing background is in serious investigations, having previously worked in domestic abuse investigation units as a detective sergeant, and in response policing, where I've come from Charnwood area, where I've done the response model as an inspector over there. I'd like to use this opportunity in the meeting to provide the councillors and community with an update on policing in Oakham Town itself, but I thought I'd start with a wider, brief view of policing, if you will. So, the national overview for policing in the UK is that the threat level is at severe, which is means that an attack on this country is highly likely within the next 6 months. However, our message to the community and our members is to be alert but not alarmed to this matter. As a force, we continue to monitor the situation with Leicestershire and Rutland, and there is no credible information or intelligence at this time to suggest that there are any specific threats to our communities. This remains under constant review by us as an organisation. The force overview for Leicestershire Police of interest for Oakham itself is that our Operation Solstice began on the 1st of June, which is our annual attempt to deal with the increase in demand that comes with the summer months, the children who are off school, the people who are the longer nights, the longer drinking, etc. It creates a large amount of demand upon the police itself, and police officers are human beings, so we like to have annual leave during the summer, go off on holiday, and many of us have children, so we like to take time off during the summer. So our capacity is significantly reduced. We have minimum cover levels where we will not dip below, but we recognise as a force that during this period we have increased demand and reduced capacity, so we put in place added scrutiny and added measures to tackle demand where it's most significant risk. We are coming towards the end of phase 1 of Operation Solstice, which is where the schools finish for the summer and all the children go off on holiday, which is an increased level, but so far we've gone through phase 1 of 3 without too many significant issues. And at Melton and Rutland, our demand has increased, but we probably more than any other area within Leicester and Leicestershire have kept on top of that relatively well. On a local overview, we have a few operations running. Operation Flux started a few weeks ago, which is our annual summer drink drive campaign, and we're tying in that campaign to fit in with significant World Cup fixtures. Operation Retail is something that I have fought for and achieved over at Melton and Rutland. We are the second area within Leicestershire and Rutland to be given Operation Retail, which gives us the ability to expedite shoplifting offenders and move those cases through to the court a lot quicker than they have previously done, so that we can then look at getting criminal behaviour orders on top of some of our offenders. And I'll touch on retail crime further on in this investigation, but that's what we have Emerging issues in the area. Staffing profile for our area comprises of response police officers and local beat officers. Specifically to Rutland, PC Mari Hughes, who is the local beat officer for Oakham, has been off work for a few weeks with an illness. She is expected to return to me within the next couple of weeks, but that has caused some issues when it comes to our ability to respond or ability to engage with the community as Mari's been away. Now, I have 3 other dedicated neighbourhood officers for the rest of Rutland, and all of which are off at the minute for sickness and illness and medical reasons that I can't discuss, which has been quite an issue for me. So what I've done is it's not easy to move people around in the police at all, but I've managed to get a new dedicated neighbourhood officer starting this week. I believe it's tomorrow. They're coming over to work for 12 months out of Oakham Police Station, covering the Rutland area, providing some support. We do have Mari, like I said, hopefully coming back in the next week or 2 to provide us that resilience, specifically within Oakham Town itself. And I have another officer from Melton who already works in neighbourhoods, also coming to work out of Oakham to provide us 3 officers rather than 4, which we normally have. However, 2 of those officers that are restricted through to medical reasons are still at work and working, just they are unable to be deployed at this time. That's caused a significant staffing headache for me, which I have tried absolutely my hardest to try and resolve, but to believe that we at least have a light at the end of the tunnel for moving people into this area to provide that support. Whilst there has been that gap in dedicated neighbourhood officer patrols, I've increased patrols from our response teams. Our response team cover, they're not specifically Melton, they're not specifically Rutland, they cover all of Melton and Rutland. I've added patrols over this side in the Rutland area, specifically around Oakham and Uppingham, to provide that support while these neighbourhood officers are off or unable to deploy. I've also got a proactive team of 4 officers which tend to do the plainclothes patrols, the intelligence gathering. They're the team that will be smashing people's door down and getting drugs from them.
The friendly bunch.
Yeah, no. 3 of them are friendly. So I've asked that they are my proactive team. So I decide what they do. They like to go off and deal with drugs because that's the thing that they like to do, and they're very, very good at it. But for me, one of my issues and one of my threats is my lack of neighbourhood officers over in the Rutland area. So I've deployed them over here in the past week or so, which you may or may not have seen because they tend to wear plain clothes, but they are still warranted officers and they are still patrolling the area. And to be honest with you, we do get a lot of better results with those officers being in plain clothes because we get to sleep a lot easier. So I love my stats and figures, so I thought I'd go through some stats and figures for Oakham Town itself. I've compared the last 3 months worth of crime against the last 3 months of crime 12 months ago. There's no point in having a look at the last 3 months of crime compared to 3 months of crime at the back end of 2025 when it was dark and everybody was in their houses, etc. It's a different sort of demand profile. So the amount of thefts recorded in the last 3 months in Oakham have been 59, which are 7 more than there were this time last year. The amount of incidents of violence which resulted in crime were recorded at 49, which is 18 less than there were this time last year. Damage incidents are up by 5 to 20 damage incidents. Disorder crime is up by 9 to 22 incidents. Drug-related incidents remain the same at 4, and sexual offences that have resulted in crime are down by 3 to a number of 4. In total, that's 158 recorded crimes of those nature over the last 3 months within Oakham Town, which is a absolutely 100% in line with the demand profile for Oakham Town, as that is 158 with this time last year. There's two significant incidents that have been brought to my attention, or that I know of, in relation to Oakham Town in the last 3 months. One of them, which everybody should be aware of, is the ATM ram raid that happened recently. That investigation currently sits with our complex investigation team. They are pursuing reasonable lines of inquiry in order to try and identify the suspects and apprehend them. The other is and I know this didn't happen 3 months ago, is the officer that was struck by the vehicle in Oakham Town Centre. The suspect in relation to that offence fled the country. They, within the last 3 months, came back into the country, where we welcomed him with open handcuffs at the airport. He's subsequently been charged with a number of offences, including a number of driving offences, including dangerous driving and the assault on the officer.
Was he on bail?
No, he's been charged into court. So I believe the court remanded him, but I'm not 100% on whether the court further remanded him. Horizon scanning. So what I'm looking at over the next few weeks and months, 3 main factors: antisocial behaviour. Evidential profile for Oakham Town suggests an annual increase in antisocial behaviour incidents involving young people over the next couple of months, which, funnily enough, coincides with school holidays, lighter evenings, clement weather, etc. And that's going to be compounded by the progression of our national team through the World Cup. Short-term problem solving involves increased patrols in the hotspot areas and locations where we identify. We put the dedicated neighbourhood officers out, and when I have the extra staffing, they'll be going out. Our community support officers will be targeting those specific locations. And my proactive team, as I said, have been working around that as well. We look to engage with the offenders of that antisocial behaviour, working through incremental approach with them. And the incremental approach for us is, historically, we tend to have 1 or 2 ringleaders within that antisocial behaviour group, and more often than not, they are more difficult to deal with than the rest. So we will look at dealing with, speaking to their parents, going through, like I said, the incremental approach of keeping it relatively low level, and then moving up to criminal offences, sending them to court, etc., criminal behaviour orders, working with the council in order to support those civil orders and injunctions that we can work with. We then visit the people on the periphery, and what we tend to find is when we go and visit those parents and explain that this is what your child is doing, this is the impact that it's causing, and this is the route that they're going to be going down, 9 times out of 10, that nips that in the bud, and then they move on and get a different group next year, etc. But that's the incremental approach that we work through. Longer term problem solving that we're working through with partner agencies and local businesses to look at local provisions for young people within the county, and what diversionary activities we can put in place for them. Theft stores is another one of my horizon scanning items. I understand that the town are looking at the model that already adopted by Melton, and the reporting mechanisms they have through an app called DISC. I'm looking to work with local businesses around shoplifting offences. I am the lead within Leicestershire Police for our digital evidence media gathering tool, which is called Nice Investigate. So hopefully I can work with them to have quicker and better availability for evidence. So that what we want to do is, if somebody goes into a store to shoplift, it gets reported quickly, the evidence is there, and we get to charge them, and within a few days they're then locked up for as long as the courts provide to look them up for. Drugs is another issue we're looking at, and our proactive team have been over here with the antisocial behaviour patrols, but also we're gathering evidence in relation to drug usage and drug dealing. So my plea to you, the community, is that should you identify any areas where people are taking drugs, people or known people that are taking drugs, please feed it through to us as intelligence. It might not be actionable at the time, but it builds up a picture for us. We then get to target those areas, and if we get enough information, it can then support our application for warrants, so we can smash people as well. And that is the update from the police. So I hope that's useful, and with the permission of the chair, invite questions that I can answer to the best of my ability.
Yes, I'll open it up to the public first, and then I'm minded about the time, so if you could keep your questions very short. I don't want to stop you asking questions, but we have a lot to do this evening.
Are you staying to the end of the meeting?
I was planning on heading off after this section, but I can give you my details if you want to speak to me about something afterwards.
No, it's just, I just want to say on the record, I was burgled in March, and the response from police was outstanding.
Oh, excellent, thanks.
I know you don't hear that.
We don't often get that.
No, but I wasn't in the country, my wife was, my son came over to help her out, because she wasn't in the house when it happened. But we had 2 police WPCs on the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, in the store. Then the next morning I had a forensics guy, and then in the afternoon we had a detective and his assistant, or whatever it would be called. Loads of follow-up, and then eventually, about 3 weeks later, I got a call from the detective, very apologetic, said they weren't able to solve the crime, which I never expected them to anyway. But the level of response that we got and the quality of the response, my wife was completely at ease. My son sometimes suffers from anxiety, he was completely at ease. It was just outstanding. I just wanted to tell that.
Thanks very much. It's in a way disappointing for me that is gold standard and not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
But
you can only speak to your mind.
I guess what you have in policing, as you do with every career, you have people that are really, really good, and you have people that aren't quite so good. And I'm glad you got somebody that was either in the middle or good.
I'd say very good.
Good.
So can I just finish if there's any other members of the public before I move quickly to members? No? Okay.
I just want to add some more praise to make your evening.
I did not expect this evening to go like this.
No, we've saved it up. Yes, but I unfortunately was a victim of antisocial behaviour and theft from just youths, 15, 16-year-olds coming across and into the garden and stealing things. So I went, as a result of the last meeting, when the walk-in centre was promoted by whoever it was who came last time, I tried it out myself and I thought it was excellent. It was very easy to use, you can just walk up there, you have to get obviously buzzed in and that sort of thing, but the young lady there was fantastic, very efficient, and yeah, I'd just like to commend it, and if anybody has to use it, it's really, really good.
Well, thank you very much.
Can I just ask how the others do, please?
It's difficult for me to say how they're doing without disclosing medical conditions. Yeah. However, I would say 2 of them are doing better than they have ever done.
And the officer that was mentioned,
Absolutely fine. Yeah, full recovery, doing really well. So that's really good. Thank you.
Anybody else from the members? Okay, then we'll thank the inspector for coming and giving us.
Yeah. You've given me a relatively easy ride. So.
You should have been here last week.
Sorry. May I ask? So that update, is that the sort of thing that you guys are after, or is there anything else that I can produce, or?
I think that was very fully comprehensive, and it gives people assurance that actually things are being done, because that's always the complaint. We never see the police; they don't do anything. That's what I get. Yeah. And from what you've said to us all this evening, we can see that. And I tell people, you don't obviously always see what's going on. So I think it was a very good report, and I think everybody else hopefully agrees with that. And thank you for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent.
We don't know who will come next month. Will it be you again?
I'll see how my timings are, but as all of Melton and Rutland, then a lot of people want my attention all the time.
We like
especially my 3-year-old.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so if you do send me the invite, then I'll either come along or somewhere else.
Yeah, well, I have the email addresses, and there's 3 but I think our clerk is going to take over those invites at some point. Right, there was talk of people on holiday, and we had no reports from Oakham Town Council because they are both on holiday that normally attend, so we can quickly move on from item number 5, to the approval of minutes. I won't rush through these because I am aware that Councillor Ainsley needs something amending on one of them.
Yeah, on the third one.
Yeah, all right, so we will.
Sorry, 28th of May, isn't it? Or 17th of June.
Okay, so I'll do them in order then, but I don't think there's any other issues, but I will ask if there are any members have to raise on the 28th of May minutes.
We go on to 5, or did we miss them?
No, sorry, did I not speak loud enough? That was the councillors who were on holiday. Sorry if I wasn't clear. So, can we have a proposal to accept the minutes for the council meeting, which was an extraordinary meeting of the council held on the 28th of May 2026? I propose them from the chair, and then Councillor Wadsworth is seconding them. Can we have a vote, please? Yeah,
No, we can still vote. We're told our vote.
yeah, we get new guidance, correct guidance, I should say. That is the thing, if you were absent and you don't have any problems with them, you can vote. But that's my understanding.
Have you voted?
And anybody against? Any abstentions?
You didn't vote.
I abstain, I wasn't at the meeting.
Okay, no problem.
That's Councillor.
Okay, now we move on to the, any comments about the minutes for the extraordinary meeting held on the 15th of June 2026. Oh, this is your...
No, it's a different thing. So I just want to, the Victoria Hall consultation, a resident suggested that a public consultation is arranged to consider Oakham becoming a town of culture, and we actually held 2 meetings in the town.
Is that in the... Sorry, we're dealing with...
Sorry, this is the...
for June.
That's right, and that's number
Is it
26044, number 2.
third one?
2604, number 2. It's just I wanted to answer the point that the residents suggested the public consultation is arranged. I just wanted to say simply that the UK Top did in fact hold 2 meetings in the on Market Day and also in Jail Street the week after, I think. Just for observation, thank you.
I'm slightly confused because we're dealing with the minutes of the meeting.
Yeah, no, this is in the minutes.
If you just approve it, make sure they're true and accurate at the moment, is what you're voting on.
Okay.
Okay, so there is...
Propose.
okay, and I'll second that. Can we have a show of hands, very clear for Ms Palmer,
Thank you.
but those who are accepting them?
I'm going to abstain, thank you.
Okay, well, we're going for those who are against first. No. Any abstentions, please? Okay, now we move on to the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 17th of June, and I think this is where Councillor Andrew...
Yeah, I've got 2 corrections. The first one is 26068, number 4.
058.
058, sorry, about the disbursement of £1,500. I minuted it was not resolved, it actually was resolved. So that needs to be corrected. And the other one is 26058. I minuted that there was 3 councillors present, and there was actually 2 councillors present at the meeting, not 3. It was 2 councillors and the chair of the trustees.
So can I just read that back?
Yep.
So 26058 needs to be changed, the disbursement was resolved, and the one that needs to be made, there was 2 councillors and the chair of the trustees, BH.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay, with those amendments, can we, proposal to accept? Seconded, and then can we have a show of hands for those who are accepting the minutes? We don't need any others because that's unanimous. Okay, so we're all happy with the minutes. Now we're moving on to councillors' reports and questions. So, if I can take councillors' reports first, if there are any members who have reports, please can they show their hand? Councillor Wadsworth has a report.
I'll just go through it very, very quickly. Just to say that we've begun the music in the park on the 21st of June, for Father's Day. The hound dogs were with the group. Weather was very hot and everybody was happy. Then we followed it with the Armed Forces Day, again very popular, lots of people there. We had primary school children performing, as well as the Rutland Big Band and Alan Jackson. We had free bouncy castles for the children, and the Royal Lieutenant was there giving away free drinks. It was also mentioned, because we have had a few problems with Church Street toilets, it was brought up that they were lovely and clean on that particular Sunday. And it would be nice if a few more councillors came to some of the events. They are on every Sunday between 2:30 and 4:30 until the bank holiday. Thank you.
Some councillors attend undercover because I had an email saying someone was there and I didn't see them.
Isn't it?
Okay. Are there any more councillors' reports? No. We do have some councillors' questions, and they come from Councillor David Gormley. And what I'd like to do is just read them as you submitted, and you are allowed to give a very brief description of why you are raising the questions, but you must stick to the text, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, thank you. Really, my question was to the clerk. Could the clerk confirm one way or another whether the chairman of the staffing committee or any other committee does or does not have delegated powers? And I thank you for your reply, because it's exactly what I would. Thank you.
So they're not, that's not, I've got these questions.
Are we taking those now? Or
No, that's done in exempt, isn't it?
That's why.
Well, I took the decision that these questions should be heard in public because they're about councillors' activities and not an attack or about our staff. And councillors' questions can also be asked if they're about the activities and workings of the council. And you have actually responded, so I was going to also give you the opportunity to give your response.
Please.
Okay, I will take your, I said I would take your advice on it. So these will be, but we can vote for them not to go into exempt.
No, I have no problem with the staff.
But that's up to the council when we come to it. Okay, so there's not a problem. It's just I want to get it out of the way, the issue. Thanks to be solved.
Could you send me a copy of the text? Thank you very much.
Because I thought that question wasn't being answered, so there was a confusion.
I think between the delay, Clark is so snowed under trying to catch up, things are going to get missed. And with all due respect, I probably asked one and like to send it out. But we do seem to be carrying out council business by email. And I will be bringing the paper to stop this because it's getting ridiculous.
Okay, I agree. Okay. So there is no more councillors' questions. So we're going to move on to the chairman's report. And so I don't waffle. I've written it down. But I think it's quite important. It's almost like a statement of how the council is hopefully going to move on in a positive manner. First of all, because this came later, I'd just like to thank former Councillor Jonathan Nichols for his year of service at Oakham Town Council. This week we received a letter of resignation from our clerk, and that's all I can say about that publicly. So now I move on to the report that has been shared, but for the benefit of the public I will read it out. Following a very constructive meeting with the leader of Rutland County Council, Councillor Chris Nix, and the acting CEO Angela Wakefield of Rutland County Council, I am pleased to share the outcome of that meeting. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the RCC leadership for their guidance and their ongoing offer of support as we embark on this vital journey of improvement, so to say. It is very important for Oakham Town Council to address historic challenges and restoring this council to a position of strength. And I call it a new chapter. The reset and rebuild phase of Oakham Town Council is now in a defined reset and build phase. Whilst it was acknowledged that our council at the meeting had not functioned as effectively as it should have in recent years, the local clerk, Samantha Hayward, is now taking decisive, structured steps to rectify these issues. I, as chairman and the councillor, are fully committed to ensuring we serve the residents of Oakham with the professional standard they deserve, and I am grateful for the expert leadership of our local clerk, Sam Hayward, who is already providing to drive this necessary change and advice received from RCC. Building on our audit baseline, we are not shying away from the findings of our recent internal audit. Instead, the local clerk is utilising it as a comprehensive roadmap and a scorecard for an improvement. At the meeting, we identified clear areas where historic performance has been insufficient, specifically regarding governance, compliance, the backlog of planning applications, the need for enhanced staff and councillor development. Our path forward, under the expert guidance of Sam Hayward, who is adopting a phased delivery approach to ensure we get the fundamentals right, has some immediate priorities, stabilising our governance, ensuring strict adherence to financial and legal regulation, prioritising the reinstatement of our formal consideration of planning applications to ensure Oakham's voice is heard, something that has been missed for nearly, well, perhaps over 2 years now. Transparency is essential. Our local clerk will use the audit recommendations as a public scorecard, ensuring our progress is reported transparently to both the council and our community. I think we've seen that in the last week. Medium-term growth, our local clerk is working towards re-establishing effective committees, implementing a comprehensive training programme for all councillors, and developing a strategic communication plan to keep our residents informed. Looking ahead, while Sam Hayward is working to overcome significant challenges, I am encouraged by the positive early signs we are seeing under Sam Hayward's stewardship. The decision to pause such projects as Victoria Hall was made with the sole intention of ensuring that when we do move forward, if we do so on a foundation of absolute fiscal responsibility and sound governance. We are under no illusion regarding the scale of the task ahead. However, I'm incredibly optimistic about our trajectory with the continued support of Rutland County Council and through the renewed commitment to transparency and discipline. I am confident we will rebuild the reputation of this council and prove that we are once again more working effectively and professionally for the people of Oakham. When I read this 5 or 6 times at home, it came out a lot clearer. I'm sorry if it doesn't come across very clear, but what I would like to do, because we've also had so much negativity on the council over the last few months, is actually have a little nice spot in the chairman's report, and she'll probably be very embarrassed. I'm proposing from the chair that we recognise Councillor Sally-Anne Wadsworth. As chairman, it's my distinct privilege to include a special vote of thanks in this report to recognise a monumental milestone of public service within our council chamber. This year marks exactly 1 decade of continuous service by Councillor Sally-Anne Wadsworth, who first stepped forward to serve Oakham in early 2016. Stepping into local government requires profound commitment to one's community, a willingness to give up personal time and a steady hand to navigate the complexities of parish administration. Over the last 10 years, Councillor Wadsworth has demonstrated these qualities in abundance. Her contribution to Oakham has been defined by reliable leadership, serving as a dedicated ward councillor since her initial co-option in 2016, executing the responsibilities of Deputy Mayor during the demanding period of 2019 to 20 municipal calendar, which is COVID, guiding the council through 2 consecutive terms as Mayor and Council Chairman from May 2022 through to May 2024. During her tenure as Mayor, Councillor Wadsworth served as the proud civic face of our town. She represented our community with exceptional warmth, dignity and unwavering focus on improving Oakham for residents, businesses and visitors, whether leading initiatives like the live music events at Cuts Close and champion local charitable causes, or chairing full council debates. Her focus remained resolutely on the best interests of the residents of Oakham. A decade of municipal service represents hundreds of meetings, thousands of pages of legislative agendas, and a significant personal sacrifice of time and energy. On behalf of Oakham Town Council, our fellow members, the administrative staff and the residents of Oakham, I wish to place on formal record our deepest gratitude to Councillor Sally-Anne Wadsworth. Thank you for your 10 years of exemplary, unselfish service, your enduring council guidance and your continued dedication to the future of our town. Sorry.
Thank you.
I don't know if we need to please go.
What does it speech?
No speech,
Do I
one more
need
time.
to get an approval for that to be minuted? No, that's fine.
Are you moving the formal vote of thanks, Chairman?
Do you want to vote on it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll propose. Can I have a seconder, please? Can you have a show of hands, please? Okay, I see you now. Well, not unanimous, but sorry. Okay, so now we'll move on. And,
questions?
sorry?
Have questions of the Chairman's report?
You can, yes.
I have no idea what the new chapter, the reset and rebuild phase, is now in the defined reset and rebuild phase means.
Well, it just means we're having like a new start with new staff, and we are trying to put behind all the issues of, like, we had the audit report, which is dreadful, with 57% governance failings, and it's just things when we were talking about it, and Rutland Council, that you have to have a new start. We can't forget about what's happened in the past, because that's all relevant to it. But
Sounds like management speak, that sort of, rather than this is what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, which is...
well, that's going to come, but I have mentioned the training and things. We can't ask Sam to do this all tomorrow. The workload that Sam prioritised is huge.
I'd like to see some detail around what that actually means.
Well, I think it means things like the training and improvements. And hopefully we're all on board to say that the goal is that we become a council, and I'm not talking about what's happened recently. This council has failed its residents for decades, and we're just saying that we. Somebody said, right, we've got to stop. We've got to go in the right direction. So that's what I accept, and I hope that the members are accepting this evening. And that's for all of us to put in. We're a team. So if members have ideas to bring of how we can improve, then that's most welcome. It's not for the chairman. I can only guide, and I was trying to say from what comes from that meeting. They told me, that I've always been told as chairman I have no authority to tell you what anything to do, but they said I have to lead you. So I'm not perfect. I've tried in that report to be a leader and just guide, and we need feedback from the members to achieve the council in the next year. That's going to, we're going to get an audit report next year because of things that have overlapped, but it will be better.
May I also ask, not like you're here, but the local clerk, I guess, is a temporary position or temporary.
Yeah.
What are our plans about replacing local clerk with a town clerk?
Can I talk about that under the
Sure.
staffing later on, please?
That is on the staffing, because it will be advertised. But yeah. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay. So I think that was well. Do you want to talk about it? I think we might not have it. Okay. So now we move on to the clerk's report, which I think we've all seen, but there might be some things that the clerk
No, I've got no
wants to
updates.
raise. No, okay.
Got nothing else for that.
Are there any questions from members on the clerk's report? No. No, and I think it's brilliant. I just think it's quite refreshing and transparent to actually know what's going on in the council. Okay, now we're moving to agenda item 10, and this is the review of our committees and working groups. I believe primarily because we need to do it, but because we have 2 new members, and I need to find that paper very quickly. Got the paper. Right at the top.
No, it's just the reports, it's not the committees.
It's committee work group report, it's not the committee.
Oh, I haven't got that far. Sorry.
You've got to skip that.
Sorry. Because I'm very keen not to go into 5-hour meetings. See, I haven't gotten enough advice there. It's very hot. Okay, I apologise.
Just to receive reports.
Yes, so do we have any reports from committees and working groups, please? No? What I will say, I was hoping for a bit more of an in-depth report from the Victoria Working Group, as it is such a massive item on our agenda.
To the point out later what's already there.
Sorry?
Carry on.
Okay, so we've got no reports. Okay. Correspondence received. This is an interesting one because I personally, and I will come to the bar on this, have received a lot of correspondence, whether it's through text messages, emails, stopping in the street, correspondence type thing. And what I wanted to make quite clear is that as chairman, I can't read people's deputations out in public, and I know some people are going to be watching the video later, so I will say this, that if you want to give a public deputation, you have to come to the meeting. You can't ask a councillor to read your deputation. I've shared one with members today and some other bits throughout the week. But that's really all I have to say on that. Do you have any correspondence to update us?
No. The only thing I would say, if a member of the public does wish to have a deputation, that I have it at least 5 days before the meeting.
Okay. And then if I can add to that, which has been a thing of issue in the past, members of the public don't always have to write to the office, because it is causing a huge amount of emails. We are, how many are we now? 9 councillors, isn't it? I think. you can write to your preferred councillor and they can try and help you. That's what we're here for, so we can help our residents. Okay, so we finished on that one. And now we move on to agenda item number 12, which I think is Sam Hayward's paper for the assertion 10 IT and data management policy, data mapping register stroke GDPR.
Yeah, so assertion 10 was brought in last year, but it's not the action. So the first motion is just for you to note the rules and regulations, just so you know why we're doing it. So we can have a vote on that, shall we?
We need to find the paper for where the proposal is. And I've got the paper.
It's on the final page.
Data matrix, but I don't I don't have this on the report page for it. So I don't have number 12. I go straight from this to number 13 in my file paper.
But that's just,
So we're just noting this.
Yeah, the first one is just to note. So
Okay, and there's nothing else that we need
There's
to.
one,
Because I don't have a report to show what proposals we should be considering.
there are 5 motions for consideration.
But I don't have that.
It's on your agenda. On your agenda.
Oh, there. Yeah, but sometimes they're different from a report. They're just like an abbreviation, aren't they? Report.
Well, this
I
is the
don't
motions are actually
Does
there.
everybody else have a page?
Yeah, I certainly printed it up, it was
Agenda
available.
item report number 12. I don't have it. Do you have it in yours?
I don't know what you're actually missing.
There's something that looks like that possibly. But
If you want to have a look at this, you compare, and then you can just read from the agenda.
Yeah, that's the part I'm missing. All I've got is that.
You missed a
Yeah,
page
me
of
too.
your,
Well, we've got more than one page.
or you've shuffled it. Go from Councillor Andrew.
It's don't matter. Yeah, I will give this back to you, Councillor Ainsley, otherwise we'll be here all night. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's my feeling as well.
Yeah, so we are noting number 1.
yeah,
So
we
we
can
don't
take
need
a
to
vote.
vote.
Yeah,
Do we need,
please.
oh, a vote, I propose that we note that.
Second.
Okay.
So we need to vote.
And then a vote, please, that we've noted it.
Thank you.
Okay, then we move on to a motion to adopt an IT and data management policy.
Yeah, I circulated you all the policy. Does anyone have any comments? Okay, we'll take a vote.
Opposed?
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All in favour?
Data mapping register.
Yeah, yes, so,
You've still got
no
more.
any queries?
That's all my things we finished with. I've got all the paper,
Oh,
which I've got the things to tick through. So we have a proposal to adopt that, please.
Yeah, I'll propose that.
A seconder.
Susie?
Okay, and then a vote for. That's unanimous. Okay. We got note that the requirement of assertion 10 is to ensure that the website is accessible to a high standard WCAG 2.2 AA, and that the website provider has confirmed that they will be reviewing all sites later in the year, and the audit
no,
will.
sorry,
That's number 4.
Number 4 says
sorry, that's the old one.
Website
So,
needs further work to make it
yeah, it's
compliant.
just to note that it has to be website accessible, and the website needs to be
Well, that's
compliant.
not reading.
Yeah, sorry.
well, this is
It makes me look stupid.
No.
It does, because we try and get it organised and everything.
Can I just concentrate? So number 4.
Well, no, because I'm not happy to approve things if I don't have the correct.
The motion on the agenda was the one.
The agenda is the correct motion.
Okay, sorry, it's very hot as well. Okay, here. Council to note that a requirement of for session 10 is to ensure that the website is accessible to a high standard WCAG 2.2 AA and that the website needs further work to make it compliant. Do we have a...
I'll second.
Okay, Michelle, support that.
Okay.
One more. It's on your next page, Mark. It's on page 3, guys. It's on page 3.
Well, I've got this one 5, is it?
Yeah, we read it from the agenda.
I was going to say, that's page 3.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, that's more.
I think
it's blown away.
Training people, don't worry. You said that's speed.
Okay. Motion 5 now.
What I am aware of is that we haven't actually debated any of this. Did anybody actually want to debate any of it?
I certainly read it with authority.
Because I don't want people to miss out. I will make a comment
Which one do you want to go for?
if I can while they're discussing things. I did a report when I first returned to council based on the motion that we just approved, and I was told that we didn't need it. So I'm pleased that some people realised that we should have done it.
Can I just make a point when I make a Chairman?
You can, yes.
So the fourth motion, the last motion that we're looking at now, it says that that we should be using SLCC, when in the paper it actually says that high-speed training is cheaper at £26 and that was recommended.
Yes.
So can I just confirm that as well?
Yes, please, yeah.
Yeah, so high speed. So where it says SLCC, we're looking
Can you
to...
for Melanie's benefit?
With all due respect, Chairman, standing orders clearly state that you can't change a motion because it's a written motion. So this motion will have to come back rewritten.
Or we can vote to an amendment, surely, to the motion.
You haven't amended it. You haven't.
Well, can I
you said we're going to change it. You need to amend it then.
Okay, so let's have a vote on it. So I'll propose an amendment, if I may.
Can I just pause a second, and I just want to check with the clerk.
Yeah, you can do an amendment, yes. please,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Councillor Ainsley, you want
Thank
to
you,
make
I'd
an
like to-
amendment?
I'd
Can
like
we make it very clear, so Melanie, because she's not got a computer, she's writing it.
Sure. So my proposed amendment is that Council to consider and decide upon online GDPR training for all officers and members, which is exactly the wording we currently have, who require it with, and instead of SLCC, we use high-speed training at a cost of £26 plus VAT per person, and then we continue as is in order to adhere to our Section 10 recommendations. Did you copy that, Mandy? So essentially the only change is that
The name.
the name and
And
the
the
cost. Yes.
I will second that.
Okay, so any other debating points?
And do we, okay, can we vote on it, please?
Right. High speed at this
Now we need to vote on the motion,
Okay, then we vote on the motion. Do we have a proposal for
on the
the motion?
amended motion.
On the amended motion.
You second.
Well, I propose to need a seconder.
So, you propose?
Yeah, that's what I read up.
I'll second.
Okay,
Now we vote on the
and
amended
to
motion, because I thought we
people
had
who support it. I
Great.
think we just voted to amend the motion and then we vote for it.
Good.
Okay.
We know we used in vain.
No, no, it's good.
Okay.
Can I have page of my agenda?
Then I don't have pages.
Oh, okay, carry on. Carry on.
We can share it.
You carry on.
Come on.
Thank you. It's all right, we're done. You carry on. Thank you.
Now can we move to agenda item number 13, which is the Finance Committee terms of reference. I believe we're later in the meeting going to set up this committee and appoint its members, so this is just to...
It's already been voted on, but we'll be changing it. So we do have the Finance Committee elected, and we're just saying that the committee needs to have terms of reference. That's what this is about, and we're going to change it. That'll come later.
Does anybody want to know? I think we're adopting this here, so I think we need to make sure that everybody is happy with the terms of reference. So I will open it up to the members. Do you have any policy on it? I don't have any issues with myself personally, but you might have seen something that I haven't said. Do the members have any comments on it before we go to vote on it?
No.
Okay. So then I propose...
Sorry, I did have one question. I just ran for a second for it. I apologize.
Okay, sorry.
So the bullet point on page 2, the first one down, sorry, the second one, should any elected member resign? I'm assuming elected also means co-elected.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Thank you. That's the end of my questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. So then we have a motion to consider, which we've done, and now we need a proposal to adopt this new or revised Finance Committee terms of reference. Do we have a proposal? Well, that was very quick. Did you see who was first?
No. Pause first.
That's okay.
Do we have a seconder, please? Okay. And can we have a vote on that, please? That's unanimous. Okay. I think that closes that. Then we've moved on to risk assessment, which can be endless and very confusing and that, but Sally Haywood has worked on this, so I'm sure that it's okay. Are there any comments from members?
No.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Wadsworth.
When we come to move the motion, is it the motion with the red writing inserted?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Not already there. Yeah, that's fine then.
If I'm removing something, I've put a red line through it.
Yeah.
We're good with that, so you can see the changes very quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good. Okay, any
So
more?
I'll move to move it.
Okay, yes.
Vote to move it.
Sally-Anne Wadsworth is proposing reacceptance. I'll second it. Can we have a vote, please? Okay. Right, so that's accepted. Thank you. Okay, now we're moving on to invoices and payments. The council has considered this list of payments that are due, and basically approve it if you agree with them. You can make some comments. I would like to start by pointing out that I'm slightly confused why we have two invoices from the solicitors in relation to Victoria Hall, totaling £7,800, and I believe there's phase 3 to come, which I've asked the members of the working group about, but they don't know how much the bill will be.
The total was going to be 9,900, I think, and it was documented in the last meeting,
So
how much it was.
This was not on our last meeting.
No, the meeting where we approved the expenditure of 39,000-ish. I don't have the figures in front of me, but we certainly had a total solicitor's fee of 9,000 plus. I don't have it in front of me.
So if we approve these,
It's already been
you can guarantee that the council did, because I'm totally confused as to Victoria Hall thing. You can guarantee that it is a fixed fee.
I don't have a guarantee, it's minuted, so let's
No,
not.
but I'm just saying, I'm
I'm
asking
not going
for,
to give you a personal guarantee, but I will say it's been minuted.
you are part of the working group who's been responsible for these.
But
costs, so that's
ask the
why
other
I'm
councillor
asking.
who's part of the working group.
I did, I said I'd asked them, and they didn't know how much it would be, so I'm asking you, please.
Well, as I said,
I'm
please
not
refer to the
attacking you, I'm
minutes.
just
Please
asking.
refer to the minutes. I'm not going to give you a
can't
personal
find the
assurance
minutes.
on
I've used
something
Google
from there.
AI to go through the minutes, and I cannot find the minute. It doesn't mean it's not there, but I cannot find the minute.
Just last meeting.
And there's nothing about solicitors things apart from the £15
There is.
disbursement on the last meeting. It was all King's meeting.
It was
last
definitely,
meeting.
it was 9,800. Let me have a look for you.
17th of June, is that what it was?
It might well have been, yes.
There was an amount that we approved.
There was,
But I
9,000
but I
plus.
don't know whether it was these amounts. I'd have to look back.
But it was all King's meeting the last
No,
meeting.
no, the meeting
No,
before
it was
that,
definitely,
it was definitely solicitors.
yeah, it was definitely, it was. But I don't know, I can't tell you whether those amounts match up to what we approved, that's all.
No, and this is the problem where I'm finding that all these things come in bits and pieces, and we just don't know.
I'm afraid we do know. It's been minuted.
And it's a lot of money to just. But anyway, we're not going to find it now, so I would.
I presume we've got to pay it anyway, because it's.
Well, yeah, because it's something that apparently has been agreed.
Well, can we get asked the clerk? I'll have a dig around and then you can send it out tomorrow.
No, I mean, I cannot see it.
No, it's an earlier meeting. I'll find
If
it.
my laptop is up, we'd be able to send you that information.
Yeah, exactly. No, not at all.
There is a resolution
For
for
9,000.
around 9,600 around that for this work that was.
And that's part of that same work. And that was capped at 9,000, whatever it says, a fixed price.
Do you remember which date it was?
Off the top of my head?
I've got resolution.
No, but I can find it quite quickly if I look. But not on the phone. But the point is, I think, that the been minuted, it is.
The problem I have, and I don't want to sound like I'm moaning at anyone, is that when we approve large payments, we ask them to have a record of the minute where the council approved it, and then we wouldn't be in this situation now. So we can't actually
Well, we could
do it now because we're time. So I won't vote to support this, but I would prefer it that in the future we could have minutes to
Sorry,
recorded on the
Councillor
sheet.
Wadsworth.
Yeah, I'm just finishing off what I was saying there, so that hopefully the clerk is hearing that so we don't get this, because then I can look at the minute and say, yes, we did agree. Not it was a meeting that might have been that month or might have been that month. It just looks so unprofessional, it is.
Okay,
Sorry,
right.
Sally-Anne Wadsworth.
Nothing to do with Victoria Hall. Venture play. Outstanding balance held back by council for representation, which is worth £2,000.
No.
We're not happy with the finish yet, so I don't think we should be paying that £2,000.
This is to do with the solicitor's fees, which has been agreed.
Excuse me? This
Sorry,
is
I thought you were
venture
asking me a
play.
question.
No, venture play, I have now.
Oh, well, we've moved on to venture play. I don't know anything about venture play.
Something else I was going to raise, because I was the one who pointed out that that's going to get ripped to pieces. But yes, Sally-Anne, please.
Oh, the new
please
slide.
continue.
Oh,
The new slide where, no, I said it's nothing to do with Victoria Hall.
Sorry, I thought you said it was
No,
something.
no, no, no. outstanding balance held back by the council because they weren't happy with the finish of the slide.
I remember.
I believe it is still not been repaired to our...
I've seen an email that says it.
They did repair it. We are being, they are chasing us with quite strong emails now about this money being held back, because there was never anything in the agreement that was signed that said anything about potentially holding back funds from them. And they have repaired that surface. It does still lift a teeny little bit, because I looked at it the other day. However, we're in a bit of a difficult position because it wasn't ever a condition of that original contract that we would do that. So I think we're on the sticky wicket.
You do have to have it as a condition to get with whole
Can I keep in order?
Sorry.
Okay.
Somebody
Hey,
has to have
the
that.
job's not done right.
Okay, have you
Does it
finished?
stop us
I've
pursuing
finished.
it?
Okay, can we have the next person, please, which I think is Councillor Clark, as he's put his hand
Sorry,
very
could
clearly.
I just go back to the point about Victoria Hall?
You can.
It's in the minutes of the meeting that took place on the 8th of April. 8th of April, and it's item 05-2613, when it says that Council Bush proposes that voting skill work be limited to legal work. Council authorise the expenditure of £9,850 for the revised legal work by Anthony Collins solicitors as set out in the revised fee proposal.
Okay. It's awkward getting my name, but I can't remember everything. But thank you very much for finding that. So we do know that phase 3 shouldn't come in any higher than that total. So I'll be happy to accept those payments. But can I ask Sam if we could have the minutes next to large payments, so if there is a problem we can just let them. But I know I do have good memory, but not that good.
Thank you, Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Councillor Clark.
I don't know if
Councillor
it's the-
Callahan, you
Yeah,
had
I
a
don't
question.
know if it's just the right time to say, but there was some exchange about the costs with Millennium, and I have actually sent an email to Sam to investigate our contract, see if we can get out of it, and even renegotiate, because it seems like we're paying a lot of money for very little. And I think that there's been some discussion about the idea of using our own version of Office 365 and running it ourselves and things like that. So I just wondered if that was an appropriate time just to be bringing that up in terms of payments.
Yeah.
I think perhaps it's something that needs to have a paper for the meeting.
It's a thing that bugs me because when we have good admin assistants, they could actually operate 365, whereas we pay Millennium to set up emails and delete, and it just seems excessive.
Does it seem expensive?
And everything I've wanted to use on it is blocked because they want us to pay more money for it. And I searched the minutes on this, and it went back 2 years ago, and then the year following, where the council was asked to review this, its minuted resolution, and it hasn't been reviewed.
Okay.
So I would hope that with our local club, that it probably is on the to-do list.
Okay, lovely. That's
Okay.
I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Is there any more questions about this before we generally just authorise these payments? Okay, I will propose that we,
Can I second?
okay, can we have a show of hands, please? And I apologise for not remembering that I was looking back in April.
You and Councillor Ainsley will be
Yeah, because we made very strict instructions that that was all that was to be spent, wasn't it? Happy with that. Now we move on to payments paid outside of the meeting. And these are payments, the first ones, which they would have to pay because some people were knocking on the door asking for money. And we just need to approve them. It was checked by 2 members and the chairman, which is under standing orders allowed. And you'll see my name is on there. That's because I had to get a keeper, and I had to pay for it, and then they reimbursed it. So do we have a proposal to accept? And I'll second that. So show of hands to accept those payments. Okay. I think we've done that section. Now we're moving on to item 16, and this is to basically we're going to review our committee memberships due to 2 new members and a resignation, unfortunately, and also the setting up of a new committee, isn't there? Is that all on here?
Yes, it is, yeah. We've got 3 committees on closing, staffing, finance, planning.
So that's staffing, finance and planning. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. So if I suppose we just do them in order as they are for the paper, or I'll get them.
We need to do the UK town culture as well, because of the resignation.
Yeah, can we do that first then? Because in case I forget it.
It's on the paper.
Oh yeah, it's on there. Sorry, yes, so we're doing them all. We're going to review all working groups and all committees, bearing in mind the huge change in the landscape of councillors. If we were at RCC, it'd be politically motivated changes if there's new members, but this is not political, so we just get on and go. So we start first off with the staffing committee. At the moment we have 5 members. And that's
Or Jonathan Nichols as well.
well, we had 5 members, sorry. So we really need to consider 5 members who want to be on the staffing committee, and I want to take each name that's put forward so it's done properly individually. And I wanted to start because I was told that I should be on it. I didn't want to be on it because I came off it very quickly from it, but I'm willing to put my name forward as a proposal as the first member to go back onto the staffing committee. So I'm going to write the names on here. So I propose myself. I would like a seconder for that, please.
Second that.
Okay. And can we have a show of hands for
No, can we ask for nominations first, please? You can't vote one member at a time.
Sorry.
You can't vote one member at a time. You need to ask for nominations, get all 5, and then it's a vote.
But no, we want, I've been asked that each member's voted individually.
But if
And we can
we
do
just explain that actually it has to get all the members up and then you vote on them.
Yeah.
Have we got to vote on block?
Yeah, because you could have 7 members want to join, and if you get to number 5, there's no vacancy for them. You need to call for nominations first.
Okay, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've not done this before. So
Nominations, or you can put yourself forward.
yeah, so I've been nominated, and so we got to then ignore the fact that it was seconded.
Yes, yeah, you're voting you.
So I'm nominating myself as
So that's one nomination, you need 4 others then, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need 4 other names for people. So that's Ben Callaghan. And Sally-Anne Wadsworth. Oh, okay, that's right.
Can I just say as well, before you take a vote on this, if we have it within the room, sorry, I'm new, I don't know you that well, but if you have the expertise, then to join that committee. So if you have HR, please do join staffing. If you have finance, please join finance, etc. It does help to have these, professionalism and expertise and skills on the right committee.
And also one thing to consider is your availability, because that's always been an issue in the past. People put their names forward and then they don't seem to be able to
So
attend.
how many nominations do we have at the moment?
At the moment we've got 3, but I've run out of penning.
Councillor Romney, yeah. That's 4 then.
What about
Sorry, I
Andrew
missed
Padmore?
that.
Because obviously he's not here to put himself forward, but he was here when we did the original.
He didn't indicate to me that he wanted to, and he didn't want to go on
I
when
think
we did it at the annual meeting. so I would be a bit worried about putting his name forward for that.
Yeah, but
He didn't come to the first meeting, which I had with Jonathan Nichols and Chris Clark. He wasn't available, and that's the thing I'm saying, that if people want to go away, they've got to make it clear and they have to be available.
surely without specific recommendation from the council, we should just, it can be brought on at a later date.
Yeah, we can.
So we've got 4 nominations at present, is that
And we
sufficient?
need a fifth, please. If there's a fifth. Well, we won't be, because
How many do we need?
we need 5, because that's part of the thing to be called.
Is that
We
what it
need
says?
3 people. Yeah, all our committees have that rule.
I thought, has it changed then? 'Cause I'm sure it used to be 3 minutes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Chorus
In
minimum
terms
of
of
3.
reference to the committee is three for a
So to be called, so
But
4
5
sufficient,
members.
and you might, well,
Oh, but if you can't have 5 members, then what happens then?
Yeah, it's absences, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll end
But
up
if you
with
haven't
meetings
got 5
being
members,
cancelled.
That's what I mean, if you haven't got 5 people that want to do it.
You should have 5 or 6
Well, does
meetings.
anybody want to nominate Andrew Padmore?
No.
Because he
No,
not in his absence. No.
could we not, Chairman, take what we've got
can take on
and then
control.
bring this back next meeting and hopefully Councillor Padmore will be here and we could then ask him if he wanted to do
Or
it.
can we just defer it? I'd rather do that. Just
Well, then
defer it.
you would have a subject
Well,
committee,
wouldn't you?
we're not planning for the start.
Bearing in
Well, I
mind
think-
the staffing issues we
Because
have.
Sam is dealing with those as an independent
Well,
person.
I
She
think-
said at the last
That's
meeting.
just one issue though, isn't it?
I think you've got 4 people who've put themselves forward. You'd ideally like 5, but nobody's put their name forward.
That's all right.
I've got Councillor Sally-Anne Wadsworth, Councillor Ben Cllr, Councillor Melton Brooks and Councillor Rodney. I make that 4.
That's correct. So, okay, then if that's what we'll just move on. And is there
Do you
a,
want to do so?
is there a seconder for those nominations?
Yeah, I'm happy to second it.
I'm happy to, yeah.
And can we have a
John's
vote?
got a bit of debate going on. Did you want to still be on the staffing? Well,
Council review membership. So
This is all new. That's
So
all.
where's the old one? This is new.
No.
No, this
The new names are the ones we just voted. So the new names are Sally-Anne Wadsworth, Ben Cllr, Martin Brooks and Councillor Romney. So if you want to go on, that's the existing committee.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's the existing. If you want to go on,
That's fine.
Do you want to stay on it? No, okay.
okay, sorry.
so we're going to vote on the, we've had it first,
We had a
second.
seconder, please. I propose. that.
I've seconded it.
Okay.
So now we're going for a vote.
And we go for a vote.
So
That's
4.
unanimous, so the starting committee is sorted.
And do we need, do you need a proposal for it to come back to the next meeting for Councillor Padmore?
No,
Well-
I will speak to him and see what his answer is before I decide what goes on the agenda.
That's why I just,
And can I just add as well, I believe there are 2 applications for co-option, so that it'll change again anyway, in terms of perhaps new members joining the council.
It would be useful would it, to have 5 members. Yes.
So well, we'll wait for that time.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got 4. 4 is
Okay.
fine.
So can I move on to finance committee, please? Do we have any nominations for members who want to be, a maximum of 6 for the finance committee, please?
I'll nominate myself.
Are there any more nominations?
if we're struggling, I'll go on. I'm not
You see, this was.
brilliant with finance, but
Yeah,
I do know my way around.
I will say that you were well there. You do realise that this was a serious issue that was brought up in the internal audit, the lack of any interest in the finance meetings. We had working groups that didn't meet, the committee didn't meet. If we don't have this is going to be another bad mark next year.
Well, like I say, we've got 2 more new members starting, then 3 could do starting appointment.
You can leave Andrew Padmore on it.
Can we?
Yes.
Why could we leave them on previous?
Well, why don't do that.
Yeah, I was say, why did we do that?
Because you said that he wasn't keen, he didn't want to be on it.
Oh, I see, because he didn't go to the meeting.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that.
No, but that's what I
I
said.
just said because he didn't go to the meeting and because at the annual meeting apparently he wasn't that keen. That's what I
Right.
said.
But could be keen on finance.
I think
Yeah.
he's more financial.
To the staff and he would make a decision, if I remember rightly, whether he liked it. But I think that's where the key comes
I think he'd be valuable on the finance.
Yes.
from. So we take his name in vain and put him down as finance.
Well, he just didn't live on it.
Always good to vote on people who are not here.
Finance is the most important, and in
It
order
is.
for me to move on, I really need to encourage 6 members on this committee. We really need these to meet regularly and to move on.
I would like Sally-Anne on there because I'm going to.
I don't want to.
Yeah, but you're always asking questions, and this is where all the finances is going to go now. That you will have powers to approve the payments. We're not going to have this incident that we had this evening, because the committee is going to make delegated decisions on the payments. Only big payments will once come to council, so it's a really important role. And
Go on,
it's something-
Sally-Anne. You can do it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry the hard sell, but we
Hard
really,
sell, yeah.
it really is important, and that means really with my name as a nomination myself, that gives us 5. I know you want 6, but I think we're not going to get 6, are we?
Well, I don't know. That's
We only need 3 proposals. And we need, who's the 5?
Ben Callaghan, Dave Romney, Andrew Padmore, Sally-Anne Wadsworth, and myself.
I would, but I'm just questioning, if you said approve payments, surely you should be approving expenditure.
Well, I'm
Is
sorry
that
if I
the
used the
role?
wrong words. I think it's explained in the terms of reference what we've adopted, what the role is, and I don't want to get the words right, but I think
I think you're right, that's payments, not expenditure, because that gets decided by council.
yeah, that's the right thing. If you be given from what I've been told and read, is that basically instead of this list coming to council, it will go to the finance committee for approval. But hopefully that would be your job to check that the council has approved that expenditure.
And then we'll go to clerk to say, is it okay?
So we're not sitting in the meeting going, well, when did the council
Yeah.
approve that? It will just be in a committee meeting.
If it helps, I mean, this is the terms and conditions we've just voted on, delegated powers general, approve invoices for payment which are within the annual budget agreed by the council.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's a safeguard.
Yeah,
An
in all of
important
its
safeguard.
decisions complying with standing orders and regulations, make recommendations to council on matters, take urgent action between meetings in consultation with the clerk and the chairman of the committee and council, where necessary in line with the council's financial regulations. So, it's all covered. And apart from that, I don't think my clerk will
Yeah,
get
do you
away with
want to go on?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so then that's brilliant. We've got the 6 members in Councillor Harris. Okay, so do we have, I will propose those members. Do we have a second?
Listen up, please.
Okay, for the benefit of everyone. Ben Callaghan, Dave Romney, Andrew Padmore, Sally-Anne Wadsworth, Martin Brooks, and John Harris.
Second.
For the seconder, can we have a show of hands for those who support it, please? Okay, thank you very much. This one's going to be quite an interesting one, I guess, as well. Planning, and I don't believe there's any member on here who took the opinion that it was a waste of time, which is why it came off our agenda. I think it's people from the past, about 2.5 years ago, made that decision. So it's an important thing. The local clerk has made it very clear what we're missing. We're not supporting our residents, so we need this committee. We don't have the time in these meetings where a small parish might be dealing with 2 or 3 applications for their village. We're talking about big applications that need to be considered. We don't vote on them yes or no. We make comment as a statutory consultee that the right word?
Yes.
And we haven't done it for over 2 years, and it's not good. And we need to be back in a position where we are doing it. We have, I had requests earlier this year, you might remember, with this wildlife path from residents, and there's been meetings going on. But it will need to come to council, because it's a huge development. We've had no input with the planning application for the last green field off of Stanford Road, and a lot of people are unhappy about it. So we need this committee. So can we start with some names?
Can I just quickly come in with a point that I think is quite relevant? When we met with RCC, we were told that the vote by OTC regarding planning matters had no more weight than a single resident.
It's true. Yes, but our comments do have some weight.
Well, that's what we were told. I was quite surprised by that.
In the old days, we used to sit in meetings and they'd go, do you approve that plan? And they'd go, yes or no. That's what they're trying to say. But when I use the example, when the rugby ground or the agricultural society wanted to put floodlights into their car park, this council sat here and said, there's an environmental impact there. The lights must not stay on when they're not needed. And Rutland County Council took notice, and you can go past the rugby ground and you will not find the lights in the car park when it's not being used. So we do have a role. We do not vote yes or no on Mrs. Smith's porch. We have to come up with a planning consideration that they would accept, like that was the environment. And we will need training, because the planning laws changing all the time. You know, so but it is an important role. So sorry, yes, Councillor Harris.
Seem to have missed item 17.
Sorry?
Item 17 was.
We're on 16.
Is it? Yeah, item 7.
But planning committee's 18.
Yeah.
I'm just
No, we
going
do
through
committee
the-
membership.
I'm going through the committee members. I'm doing, because it's in
It's
the
pointless if we get to 18 and we start arguing them.
Yeah, I think.
I agree with you, to be honest, yes.
All right.
It's just be taken out of time.
Good understanding of it, coming up, just change the two items.
Coming up, just
Yes.
come back to planning after we've actually approved it. We're going to have a planning committee, then just.
Well, 18 actually says to confirm membership of the committee, so you can do planning under 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So can we just pause then?
Yeah.
So you want to go on to UK 10 of Culture?
Yes, it makes sense, because it's one of the things I've explained about when we had large payments that we were asked to approve them before we agreed to spend it. So it does fall the same. So we'll pause that membership. I'll put a big cross so I don't forget it. Right, now we're going to move on to the UK Town of Culture. Yeah.
17, Dave, next meeting.
No, it's still in. It's still in 16. It's still in 16.
You want to go out and date?
Yes.
Okay, so we have 4 members on that committee, and we still need it. Might not, but we still need it. So do the same people want to stay on it? Now, former Councillor Nichols can remain on it, and has indicated that he would like to be nominated as a lay person. Lay people is something that I've always asked for to help us on our committees. They have no voting rights, but they can provide their skills, and as you know, through working with Councillor Nichols on that bid, he was probably very helpful to you.
Very happy with that idea.
Yes, so I'm minded that maybe the same people want to stay on it.
I think we need one more. We need 4.
We have
I've got 4. Jonathan Nichols is remaining.
Yes. I think keep consistency.
Yeah. Well, so we make our minds up whether we want to stay on it or not.
I'm just saying to keep consistency, it makes sense, doesn't it?
I'd like to nominate myself to stay on.
Okay. Christopher Clark, do you want to
Yes,
nominate?
that'd be fine.
And,
Jonathan Nichols will be invited as well. So that
yes,
remains as is.
as a lay person, you must clearly.
That's
And Councillor Harris indicated that I'm nominating these. So can we have, I'll propose those people.
Can we do it for an ongoing?
Yeah, I'm doing that unproposed. I said I'll propose those people,
Oh, I see.
and I need a seconder, please. Can we have a show of hands, please? Okay, that's fine. We have, moving on now to working groups.
Can I just say, I only put on the motion to review the committees and nothing else. So if you want to do working groups, you would have to put an amendment to the motion.
Yeah, I think we don't need to do that, do we?
Yeah, just
Well, with Victoria Hall, we'll have to update her.
Well, no, can we do a motion to review the working group? And then I guess that out of the way. And I'll put a motion that we review the working groups, please.
Just one thought, that we, going back to the two potential co-optees, that might mean an extraordinary meeting. Can we not add that to that extraordinary
No,
meeting?
we're not having an extraordinary
You're not?
meeting because of the clerk's workload.
Okay.
I discussed that.
Okay.
Okay. So I put a proposal forward that we well, the one that I want to put a proposal forward is because we may be having a committee later, is that I'd like to put a proposal forward that we revise the position of the working group for Victoria Hall.
That's coming up in the paper. Number 24, paper 24, it comes up then, so it doesn't need to be discussed now.
Okay. Well then, okay, we just leave it.
We still want to vote, you propose that we discuss the working groups.
You say it's under 24, that the committee, the working group isn't under 24.
No, but the proposal to establish a committee in lieu of a working group is.
Yeah, but we haven't disbanded the working group, so it's.
Well, we can disband it in the same motion, surely.
No, I'd rather do it properly.
Well, I thought that was properly.
So can I make a proposal that
Amendment to the motion.
amendment to the motion that we consider the Victoria Hall working group?
Isn't it the working group, all of them? Or just that?
No, because we don't really have any working groups that are actually working at the moment. do we? I know we've just created the communication, so we don't want to change that.
Well, I'd like to step down.
Okay, we review all working groups, then is my motion.
There's the communications, you've got Councillor Jonathan Nichols, who's no longer with us.
Okay, can I just pause? I put a proposal that we review all working groups.
So move on, I'll second it.
Okay, can we have a show of hands, please? Thank you. Sorry, I don't like being.
No, keep going.
Okay, so can we start then with the communications working group? Do we want this group to continue is the question. And if we do, what members want to be on the group? We've already heard that one member's indicated they want to come off the group that hasn't yet met, which they're perfectly entitled to.
I'd be
So I'll
keen
open
to
the
hear.
floor to
Sorry.
Councillor Callaghan first.
I was just going to say, I'd be keen to hear from the people on that group to just some feedback in terms of how effective it's been or successful.
We've never met.
You never met, right? Okay. Well, that seems to speak volumes. Yeah.
I might be able to help. So I'm putting together a communication policy for you. That will be on the next agenda, hopefully. And that will detail exactly what I think you should be doing with regards to communications, and there's an awful lot. So it will need a working group.
Okay.
And that could be anything: newsletters, social media, website, counsellor surgeries, all sorts of things.
Brilliant. That's very clear.
Before Councillor Callaghan thinks we didn't do anything. It was only formed a couple of 3 months ago. It was my idea because I thought our communications were pitiful. So I volunteered to lead that, but we didn't mean.
So you will have to, if we agree for it to continue this evening, you will have to work with
Delighted to do
the local part.
so. It's from the
Preparing
areas and
all
also
sorts of things. Yeah. So
we're
we're sort of minded that all we're doing tonight then is reviewing the membership. So can I have names of people who want to remain on the, who are named there? Do you want to, Sally-Anne Wadsworth?
So, yeah.
Okay, and of course Jonathan Nichols is no longer with us. That sounds a bit...
As a councillor.
Yes.
Does it need to be core in room 3 again?
No, working group can be a minimum of 2. You can have a working group that's too big, can't you? And it's-
Have you got? I can't see your terms of reference. Working groups should still have terms of reference.
Yeah, and then I
There
think
is
it's well under the standing orders where it has to be 2 people minimum.
Oh, well,
Fairly certain there were.
It's not on the website.
Sure.
I think under now it says 2 people minimum, with a start and finish.
No,
Not a working group that goes on for 10 years.
Oh, it has a limited time frame.
We're supposed to have task and finish.
Well, working groups end anyway, the AGM. End of the AGM.
Well, that's true.
So far I've got Councillor Harris and Councillor Wadsworth, and I'm happy. Wadsworth. I'm happy that we only require 2 members, so if there is no other members who want to be on the communications group, then I propose those 2 members. Do we have a second, please? Okay, can we have a show of hands? Chris. I think you've got a good group there to work with the local council. Can we have a vote, please? Thank you. Right, I believe the only other group sort of exists is the Victoria Hall working group.
Policies and procedures is next.
Nobody wanted to be on it.
Yeah, can I speak to that, please?
Yes.
Literally, I will do your governance review as far as I've got time. I've already started it with documents on here. I personally don't see the need for this group because, in my experience, what happens is policies go to the group and then it goes to full council and it's completely different. I mean, I was just sent them straight to full council to begin with.
Okay.
So, personally, I would disband that for
Sounds
the
good
group.
to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I make a proposal that we disband the policies and procedures group and we have a very quick second?
Who was the second one?
And can I have a show of hands, please? For
Yes.
these policies? Can you guide me then through the working groups, please?
It's just one more, which one is it?
Oh, show of hands against. Was there against? Okay, there was 2 against.
3 against.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry.
Right, stop that again.
Can you take that vote again?
Yeah, I will try. So, okay, this is to disband the policies and procedures working group, which nobody wanted to be a member of at the annual meeting. Okay, so can I have a show of hands who want to disband it?
Who was the second?
Sorry.
Right, I was second.
Can I have a show of hands, please, of who would like to disband that group?
4. Oh, 5.
5 now, they're thinking.
Hang on, CC.
Oh, 6 now.
6 now.
6 in favour.
Right.
And
No.
against?
Okay, any against, please? Okay, that's fine. And any abstentions?
No, there was nobody else.
So you were an extent, I'm sorry, but that was not clear.
No, it wasn't.
So can we
I
have a
changed
clear
my
show
mind.
of hands who are voting to disband, please?
Right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5.
Five.
5.
And who was the against?
Against? 1.
Abstentions?
An abstention? Okay, that's it.
Much harder than needed to be.
Okay, now we're going to move to the Victoria Hall Working Group.
Extension?
We'll just get this item out of the way and let's decide whether we're going home. The proposal from the chair is that the working group is disbanded. Do I have a seconder, please? Okay, we have a seconder. We got that. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Then for disbanding the working group. So that's 3 to disband. All those against disbanding it. That's 4. So the working group continues.
It can be transferred to the committee.
Well, no, we're going to have a working group because you voted to keep it.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now we need to decide the membership of that working group. Do we have any proposals for members for that working group?
I suppose it's me.
We have Sally-Anne Wadsworth. Anybody else?
I was going to say.
Councillor Harris?
Yeah.
Councillor Harris? Anybody else? Okay, I will propose those people. Do we have a seconder, please? Councillor Clark. And can we have a clear show of hands to support? Okay, and anybody against? Any abstentions? No. Okay, well that worked well, didn't it? Okay. Not sure what you're going to do if we set a committee up, but...
And we'll turn up to 2 hours.
Okay, we need to do an extension.
Yes,
Is there something I have to read out?
Just propose it and I'll second it and then
okay,
we
just
get
get
going.
those to accept.
Okay, I propose we extend the meeting to
I second
whatever is required.
Suspend standing orders.
And we suspend standing order
3D.
3D, please.
Oh, sorry, 3X. You changed yours. 3X.
3X.
X or X?
X.
X.
It's
Number 10.
And then,
Did I propose it? Did we get a second?
Yeah,
okay. And a show of hands then, please.
okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, I can ask if there was against.
Sorry.
Largely because you said as long as it takes, rather than Christmas.
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
Half an hour,
That's
exactly.
what he said.
I think that's in the standing order.
It's because I've given up the will to live. Like I said.
Well, let's keep going and we'll get there. Right.
Okay.
Can I just quickly ask, we're not discussing outside representatives at this stage?
no.
No.
No. No, we were not going there. Okay. Now for some reason I have to give the
Date of the next meeting.
date of the next meeting, although we've got a motion after that. That might be in the wrong order.
We don't know.
Often is.
So the next meeting is on the 12th of August 2026 here at 6:30. Now we move on to the creation of the council considered and decided on reincarnating the planning committee and if agreed to confirm the membership of the committee, confirm the name of the committee and review the planning committee terms of reference.
Ooh.
So I open it to the floor. Does anybody want, I suppose it's the first question, do we want a planning committee and do you have any comments on the terms of reference, please? I think I made my comments earlier, so I won't repeat myself.
My own comment would be that, from my experience on the county council, that and being on the planning committee, it's a very, very frustrating role. You'll often find that with the best will and best intentions, you want things to change or not to go through, and you get superseded by highways or something like that, so it doesn't matter what you say, it goes through anyway. So just be prepared that with all, as I say, best will in the world, it will still go through whether you like it or not.
And European law still apply because I wrote on behalf of the residents about a change of use of a shop. And the council wrote back to me and said, you can't say that because of European law applies here.
We are rapidly chewing
Yes,
our
let's keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment? Because at the end of the day, paperwork you've got is not just a planning committee, it's planning and recreation.
Then that's why we're going to abolish that and change it just to planning.
What is it? It's not, that's not what the paperwork that came through.
It is. It's confirmed the name of the committee, and in my report, I said the recreation areas were open spaces and not linked with planning. My recommendation was that you just have a planning committee.
Okay, I'll be on the planning committee.
Well, we've got to vote if we want it first.
Oh,
We've got to
okay,
name it.
let's get on with it then. Sorry.
Well, that's what I said.
Let's get on with it.
I put it to the floor, or whatever you call it, the table. Do you want a committee?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a seconder for that, please?
The motions are approve of the change of name for the planning committee and to approve review planning committee terms of reference. I don't see a motion that says, do you want it in
You always use the agenda.
Always use Okay, that's not in the paper, okay. I stand corrected.
So you go to the vote.
Well, did we have a second? Yes, me. Can we have a vote that the planning committee is reincarnated?
Reinstated?
Reinstated.
I would say reincarnated.
Okay, can I have a show of hands for that, please? So we have 4 members for. Any against? Any abstentions?
3.
Okay, so I believe that passes. And we've got to decide on the name of it.
No.
The membership of it is next.
So, the reinstated planning committee, reinstated without confirming membership.
Councillor Wadsworth.
Can we
Councillor Wadsworth and...
Yes.
Oh, right, Joe.
2.
2 so far.
I'll go.
So that's 3. That's almost 4. I think as chairman I have to go on it.
Yes.
And as a person is saying that we haven't been doing it. Yes, so that makes 4. We do need 6, I think.
No,
It consists of 3 between
3 and 6.
That'll do.
We've got 4.
So you've got 4, that's enough.
Okay,
Not
so
ideal.
I will propose those names.
I will second it.
You can't like it.
Oh, I think that.
And can we have a show of hands who support those names, please? And that's unanimous. And okay, and it does say they confirm the name
Yes.
of the
Just
committee.
planning
Just
So are we needing to approve that it is now, because we've had this for years, it's been planning, parks,
It's been
recreation
nice.
and big top, whatever. It's
My
just been-
recommendation is planning committee.
Okay, so
And
So,
review the committee terms of
I
reference.
propose that the new committee is called the planning committee. Is there a second, please?
Yeah.
Sally-Anne Wadsworth. Okay, can we have a show of hands for those who support the name of the committee?
Unanimous.
Okay, thank you. And
Thanks.
then we need to review.
Thanks.
Oh,
It's
sorry, I thought
unanimous,
it was
there is 7
unanimous. Was it-
Yeah, it says
was that wrong?
unanimous.
No, you're right, there is 7 hands up.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Now we have to review the planning committee terms of reference. And it's second, I guess. Are there any questions, anything that people would like to change or amend?
No.
Okay, then I propose that we accept those. Do I have a seconder? Thank you. Can I have a show of hands, please?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unanimous.
Thank you.
And could we bring that back again when the new members come on to...
I will do it anyway, yeah.
Oh,
Right, okay.
19, yeah. This is a motion to consider moving the town council offices to the King Centre in Barleythorpe. Do we have any comments on this?
Should we propose and second, then ask for comments?
Yes.
Yeah. See whether we
Well, that's true, yeah.
Okay, sorry if I got that wrong. So do we have a proposer that we consider
King
King
Centre.
Centre?
We've got a proposal.
Got a proposal for me?
Do we have a seconder?
Motion for.
It's easy.
Okay, that motion falls then.
Shilling?
On it, but I would have died if I got to Barleythorpe tonight.
Yeah.
Is he so kind?
Well then, 20.
Easy decision.
Easy over there.
And with regards to 20, can I please ask that none of up-to-date information.
Yeah, Melanie shared that, and I've agreed that when we come to that, I'm still totally confused about the, I know where we are.
Oh, sorry.
It's getting to, because the proposals are not always matching. Well, let's thank them. Okay, I want to make sure I get the things done correctly here. Okay, I don't know what there's a lot of proposals on here.
20's the bench.
20
Princess Avenue.
Yeah, I've got that,
Yeah,
but
that's what
there's
we're on.
quite a lot on it.
There's only one motion then.
Yeah,
Do you need a proposal before the Deputy Clerk is reporting?
full council.
It doesn't matter who's doing it.
Okay, yes, is there a proposal that the full council consider the location of the memorial bench in Princess Avenue and confirm the type of base they require, and the council to also confirm the future maintenance possibility or responsibility of the bench? Is there a proposal for that?
No. I want to talk.
You
You've
can.
got to be, after we can discuss
Yes.
shortly after we propose and second.
Okay, I will second it.
No.
Okay, now can we have an update from Melanie Palmer first, please, before we get into a discussion about it?
Okay.
Thank you.
So I've been in contact with the lady whose partner unfortunately passed away. Young family, very sad circumstances. She requested a bench about 8 months ago, so it's been quite a long process. This has in getting it in situ. We FaceTimed on the park the other day, agreed where it would go because I understand there's some concerns that where she's requested is too close to the stream. That's not the case at all. So where the stream is, there's 2 trees in the park, and there's a nice little area underneath this tree that we've agreed with her that bench can go. So I asked council to allow that positioning of that bench in that place, because I think she's been through so much. To change that now would be quite, it would be awful for her. We can't place the bench at the minute because the ground is so hard, so we've advised her that we need it to rain before we can put it in. And then the plan is that we will move it to the position agreed. It's currently locked away for safekeeping. So I hope everybody is in agreement with that.
Yeah, I'll say my bit quick. I know this lady's been very upset, but it doesn't detract from the decision the council's got to make, whether you think it's right or wrong that we do this. The bench should have probably come to council a long time ago. It didn't, for various reasons. So this lady has been promised that she can have it, but the council hasn't approved it. So hopefully tonight we will agree approval. The sticking point is that there is going to be additional costs around the installation, and whether you want to agree to using money from, as we always say, from reserves to do that. And I believe Melanie Palmer said that they might be willing to contribute a bit more, but I'm minded as a councillor to say no. It's been a difficult time for the family, and then in future I don't think anybody is going to, in the office, authorise something like this again without council permission. So it's rather unique, and I think we have to handle it in a very sensitive way. Can I have, who wants to go first?
Sorry. So I have every sympathy with the family, but I'm looking at the number 3, legal and governance considerations. So So, are we able to verify each one of these individuals? So, verification of ownership, statutory powers, etc., etc., etc. All of those being addressed, and are we certain that we can actually? Are there any restrictive covenants? Are planning permissions? Do we need house and license? All of those things that are actually listed there, very helpfully listed. I just need to be assured that all of those have been met. Can I have that assurance?
We do have existing benches.
But that doesn't answer my question, particularly when it comes. I understand what you're saying, but if there's reading something in here about wheelchair access and making sure there's not. There we go. Clearance requirements. Can we be absolutely certain that we meet the clearance requirements, which is should allow an unobstructed protection? I mean, I don't want to read it all out, but I just want the assurance that all of these have been met. If not, then we can agree. I would suggest that we make a small amendment and say that we would agree the legal and governance considerations, subject to the agreement of legal and governance considerations, that we agree to put the bench where she suggests, and that we go for whatever type of secure, whether you go for a concrete-based or place. So I think that's the way we approach it, because I'm not certain that we have all number 3 lined up at ducks in a row, or do we? And I'm willing to propose an amendment that says we can.
I think, Chairman, if we went back when all this first started, we do have policy for benches in invoices.
You can't find it.
There is a policy for benches in invoices because there are at least 3 memorial benches in invoices. They've all been put there through this council, and there was a policy for it.
This is when we could have done Councillor Lucas, because she probably has the policy.
Does this help us with establishing that legal and governance considerations have all been met?
Well, I think because if you're talking about access, it's a bench in a field.
But do we have the statutory powers to do it? Do we have? Is there any restrictive covenants in that particular area? I mean,
We own them out.
but I don't.
Oh, we own it,
Yeah,
So this is my point. If we can have assurance that number 3 is met, fully met, then I'm willing to support. But otherwise, I would suggest that we amend the
One of
motion.
the biggest complaints from residents over the years with Princess Avenue is that it is a playing field, and people complain about the additional trees, the additional benches. So I'm minded that there is a problem that it is going away from being a playing field.
But I have to sit somewhere while children are playing.
exactly.
There's dozens of benches.
I think this is a wonderful idea. It's just
I just think it's a shame that somebody agreed it without coming to
So
There's not a lot to do about that.
So moving on then, so who would do the job of checking each of those point 3 to make sure that we're not landing ourselves in trouble?
and surely we can.
I think that's a sensible amendment, and I would urge you to propose that, and let's move on.
Okay, so if I propose that full council consider the location of the memorial bench, and we're happy with the location, confirm what type of base they require, so that's the other decision we have to make now, whether we go for concrete base, and this is all subject to all requirements of number 3 being met.
I think that's fair enough.
Yes.
Will you make an amendment to the motion?
You don't need an amendment, you can say you approve it subject to.
We just have to decide what base, so that's the only thing we have.
If you find in the office that we can't actually put a bench,
Well, exactly.
then you come back.
Are we agreeing on the
We also got to agree on the costs.
the concrete base coming out to street furniture on the council?
Normally a concrete base.
Concrete base, and
the motion says
are we going to take on maintenance responsibility?
base they require.
But just to bear in mind that normally it costs about £600.
No, I think
Sorry,
can you keep quiet a second so I can...
Can I just ask a question? I understand why you're putting that amendment through, but that has never been asked about the other benches.
I wasn't here for them. All I can say is that having read these, if I can be given assurance that number 3 is all met, then I'm happy.
So can I ask them if that isn't met, then we cannot cite the bench? That's where I...
Well, we have to, well, it's not just, it may be that there is additional work required, which will have to come back. The point being that all of number 3 has to be met. Yeah.
And if it isn't, we cannot put the bench there. I just want to be very clear.
We need, well, it depends which one it is. There's also, the point I would make is that we review item number 3, and if there is an obstruction, we won't necessarily say, no, you can't have it. We'll simply say, what is it we need to do to satisfy the point that we're missing?
But it will have to come back to council. Whereas the resident is...
What we need to do is delegate the clerk to
verify that number 3 is met or can be met.
Yeah, if we can go with that proposal, but put the clause in it that the clerk has delegated powers to do whatever
make a
is
decision on
required.
our behalf.
Well, these aren't too onerous. Are there any restrictive covenant, yes or no? Equalities Act, clearance requirements. It's yes, no.
I think it's yes, no, but I just want assurance that it can't, given that we should come back. We should actually,
Or
give the authority for the clerk to achieve that. And have we decided on the base, what base are we recommending, and what maintenance responsibility? Those are the 2 outstanding questions.
I think
I would propose
Yes.
that we accept maintenance responsibility in my proposal, and that we have a concrete base. That's what I would propose.
concrete.
So that's my proposal. Do I have?
Can I just clarify as well? Sorry, ownership. I assume we're owners.
Well, no, she's paid for it.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make
We
her
were
own.
purchased
She transfers
Yeah,
it to
maybe
us.
the owner. So I assume we're the owner.
Yes.
It would be
Yes.
normal that if someone buys a memorial thing, because I've done it, I bought my partner a memorial in a church, and I relinquished ownership.
That would be normal if we're going to take maintenance responsibility.
So
Right, okay,
it would be normal.
So then I need
We can put that in writing.
So, shall I outline the proposal?
And before, is there anybody else wants to say anything at first, and then we'll come back to Councillor Ainsley for his proposal and get it very clear for Melanie and the clerk. But is there anybody else who wants to say anything,
Well,
please?
I think for this one and for future reference, I think we need far more detail before we make decisions on things like that, because we don't know what the bench is going to look. We're talking about the base. We haven't said what the bench is made from, have we? So
It's a donation.
things like that, that's what I'm saying, that if we're going to undertake maintenance, then we need to make absolutely sure that the thing it's made from is going to be low maintenance. Otherwise, we've got a millstone around the head for years and years. So
this won't happen.
no,
It's a change, for goodness sake. We're talking about a
Shall
bench.
we?
So has everybody finished, so that I
Yes.
can go to
Yes.
Councillor Ainsley for the very clear proposal?
I'll do that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the full council consider the location of the memorial bench in Princess Avenue in the location suggested by the person who is donating the bench, and that the type of base that we require will be concrete, and that the council confirms future maintenance responsibility of the bench with transfer of ownership. And lastly, we delegate item 3 of the agenda to be verified by the clerk or deputy clerk.
Okay, I will,
I think that's it.
Yes.
I will second that. Do we have any votes for that,
Yeah.
please?
Sorry, this is 4.
This is for, okay.
So 6.
Did you get that, Melanie? I think there might be a vote against.
No, I'm going to abstain because I think you've made a meal out of this bench.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I did, but moving on.
right.
Next.
But it wasn't our fault, we didn't agree.
Oh, come on, move on. 22.
Okay, now we move on to item 21, not a contentious issue, the sports facility feasibility development study document. So we need a proposal that the council consider and decide upon the removal of the exempt status for the sports facilities for feasibility and redevelopment strategy. And then a motion that the council consider and to decide upon authorising the clerk to publish the finalised strategy document on the website of Oakham Town Council for public access with all the necessary redactions or privacy checks completed prior to the website upload. Do I have a proposal for that?
Oppose that.
And I'll second that. Okay, and we're not voting because we're just going to open for comments.
Thank you. I'd like to make a comment if I could, please. That the council does not approve the removal of the exempt status for the sports facilities feasibility redevelopment strategy because the document is outdated, the proposal it contains has been voted down, and its funding assumptions are no longer accurate. Whilst UK SPF funding may still exist, the level of support now available is far lower than suggested in the study, making its financial model unreliable. If Council nevertheless resolves to publish the document, I believe that it must be accompanied by a clear explanatory note confirming that the study reflects past circumstances only, that its recommendations were not adopted, that its financial assumptions are no longer valid, and that the document does not represent current Council policy. The note must also make clear that the study cannot simply be presented again in future without substantial amendments.
How do I deal with that? Is that a proposal or?
This is my statement. If you want a proposal, I can give you I can give you a proposal if you want one.
We'll get to that, because are there any other comments?
Well, I'd like to speak to the motion.
You can. Sorry, I should have allowed you to
That's all right.
speak
No,
first.
I'm more than happy.
Right.
I can give you this. By making this document and process unjustified and secret, the council has come into disrepute and has lost the trust of the people it purports to represent. Bridges need to be built to regain that trust, and making this document public will be a start. In terms of procedural matters, I believe there's nothing under paragraphs 1, 2 and 3 of Schedule 12A to Section 100A of the Local Government Act 1972 to preclude this document from being made public, other than possibly the name of a contractor, albeit a company visible on the Companies House website, and this can be redacted if deemed necessary. Foremost in the decision to make something exempt is the public interest test. As noted by the author at the meeting on the 28th of May, the public gallery was full. Clearly there is the evidence that it's in the public interest for this to be made available. I believe there was a deliberate and disingenuous act to hide the council's intentions from the very people who fund this council, but more importantly, Oakham citizens who would have been directly affected by the outcome of this proposal. The author tried hard to convince the members of the public present at the recent town meeting that the proposal aimed at investigating a number of options. For those of us who had the opportunity to read the documents, it's only clear that there was one outcome intended. Also, as the original proposal for the feasibility study has fallen, there is no longer the need for exemption, plus it can be at any time requested under freedom of information. So again, there is no justification. I move that the members support this motion.
Thank you. Any other comments, please? Okay, we've had a proposal and a second, so can we have a show of hands, please, for supporting the publication of this document?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, any against?
1.
And any abstention? And then there was the second motion where our local clerk will be required to just check it over legally whether the name should be redacted. I don't know whether it should, but I'm not an expert. But before it's published and released, we need to propose that that is.
I'll propose that.
And I'll second that. And then vote, please. In favour. Voting. 5. Those against?
1.
And then the abstention.
1.
Okay, thank you very much. Resolve that matter. Okay, we've got loads of stuff on here.
Yeah, get on with it then.
Long.
5 minutes.
Okay, so will you vote for another extension and do it properly?
Can we do that?
Yeah. Do I have a second, please? We are going to get, can I have a show of hands, please?
Sorry, I do apologise, I've written the time down, I missed the proposal and seconded. Apologies.
You proposed.
I propose.
Second.
Yeah, can I have a show of hands to extend the meeting, please? By another 30 minutes.
3.
And those against?
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
3 against.
So that carries. Okay. Oakham Tennis Club. I just ticked it off because it's rubbish. Okay, waste bins, I'm very sorry.
Can I ask if Melanie can give an update to this, please?
Yeah, the council will note an update report of the overflowing bins at council. So this will be fairly straightforward.
So I met with Max from the company that does this. They have a different understanding of the contract that we do. We are working together. They are doing extra pieces than they were doing before. They were unaware of the concerts, which haven't had an impact on the rubbish collection. I've now given them a schedule of the concerts, so they are changing when they collect. We are in a dialogue on how to improve that service. They are undertaking extra rubbish collections, which they are not charging us for. You will see that relationship and that improve over the coming weeks, and I will update further on that.
Okay.
Well done. I think that's excellent. However, my suggestion, and I have been both a rubbish director and a rubbish managing director. I was a rubbish director, Foster Services, Clean Away, and we really should not be putting all our rubbish in a bin like that. Kids at school will think we're mad. Recycle at home and just chuck it in the ground. Then we should be getting someone in, whether it's Glenn, who is it, Glendale?
We're in contract.
It says to the accepting that it takes a long time to do a change because bins have to be up. But all the public bins that we're responsible for should absolutely reflect what we do at home. Full stop. I won't debate it with you. And I'm happy to lead it. We'll bring however many contractors in that we need to. We'll get it done. Kids must think we're mad.
I mean, I agree with you, and I asked for it many years ago. But one thing we've got with parks here now, and we are going through a progress of change, our policy for using Cllr clubs is that all the traders take away their rubbish, and they're not doing it. There's a mountain of rubbish that's just being dumped by bars, burger people, and the pizza people. People are getting out.
That wouldn't matter because we get income from it.
I know, but at the moment we're not, and
But
it's
we
also
have
a problem with it sitting around and being strewn in.
So somebody should be enforcing our policy as it currently is. If we want to change it, so we'll accept. I mean, the more recycling, the more income we get. So we should be encouraging it.
Yeah. I would like to see it. I'm sorry, Councillor Ronnie had a comment before we move on.
Well, I mean, I agree with Councillor Harris. At the end of the day, this came up years ago, when you said that nothing was done. But I put the blame for this squarely and firmly in those people that organised and negotiated the contract. When you renegotiate the contract, the trouble is with us, we don't read a contract correctly. We think we do. I mean, the same with the light service. I understand that costs us extra because we don't read the contract. We're in such a rush to get things done. And we need to start doing things properly, getting correct quotations, correct tenders written up, and then we can. And this is a reason why you should have a policy committee, because then we could come back with a recycling policy. As it is now, the club's going to have to do it.
Yeah, but we're changing. There is a situation where we've had things where we don't see the contract, and that's changing. Where we've been given quotes for contracts, and all it says is the name and the amount, and that's what was in the past was decided, and it shouldn't happen. And I agree with you.
Should we go to finance committee?
This is a report. Why don't we accept the report and note that Melanie, you're happy to work with me and one other councillor, preferably, because I might be talking rubbish.
It's always offered to help with this, so I think it would be.
We could do with one other councillor.
Well, I've worked
So can we just vote that we note this?
Yeah.
It's been there, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah. We vote, we note it. Okay.
I'll volunteer to do some more work.
Okay, and the next one should be quite straightforward once we accept this on here, because I've had discussions with Councillor Cllr and we're going to make an amendment to his proposal. So I would put that proposal to Council, and we need I propose it, we need a seconder. Okay.
Can we hear what the proposal is?
Yes, the proposal is that Council consider and decide upon granting permission as landlord to Oakham Tennis Club for them to carry out remedial repairs in consultation with Council for oversight on their building work proposals.
Right.
Thank you.
My amendment to that, which I'm hoping you will accept, because this afternoon I received a report from the tennis club, which is incomplete works. I think I'd like to make an amendment that this council gives the tennis club permission to carry out all necessary repairs, and they work in consultation with delegated powers to the clerk, which would possibly be delegated to Melanie, because otherwise, from reading what he sent me this afternoon, it's not complete. They will never get their repairs done if he has to keep coming back to council. They said they don't want to demolish the building, they just want to repair it and make it look better. So I think that working with the office is better than keep bringing each thing like the colour and paint and whatever back to council, because that's how daft the lease is. They have to have permission for the paint. So that's my amendment. Did you get that?
Yes.
Does anybody second?
And I'll second that.
Okay, can we have a vote on that amendment, please? Okay, that's unanimous. And then we now have to vote on that motion, which is that we agree they can do their repairs and they work in consultation with the clerk, who has delegated powers to agree repairs. If they want an extension, obviously that will come back to council and say that's the. So do we have did we propose that? Did we say anything? Okay, so can we have a vote on that, please? Okay, that's unanimous. That's brilliant. I said that wouldn't take too long. That's fine. Now we're moving on to item 24, which has a lot of motions. I would like to make an amendment to the motion.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to do that now, the motion? My motion is the town council decides that we move away from this project, i.e. we stop it, and we hand back to the trustees of Victoria Hall and the Charity Commission the responsibility of the Victoria Hall, because I know we've had discussions about it and there's been a lot of toing and froing. It's unclear to many members what this is going to cost us. There's no business plan. There's no budget anywhere for anyone to run it. I had a message kindly from Councillor Ainsley to say that the council hasn't agreed to run it, which is correct. So it just seems a bit peculiar. So that's my motion is, and if it falls and we go through this line, but my motion is basically that we walk away from this and we are not responsible. We hand it back to the trustees and the Charity Commission to deal with.
Well, I second it.
Okay. Do we have a vote on that, please?
Can I speak to that motion, please? Can we speak? Well, let's have a discussion.
Yes.
So the proposal, as I understand it, that you want to pull the project now, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so at the moment the council has already approved the development stage work and the budget's been set aside and that work is underway. No further expenditure is needed at this stage, including on the RCC trustee point, we can draft a letter ourselves at no cost, or use solicitors later once a fee is confirmed and kept within budget by the U committee. The full anticipated costs have always been disclosed. Business case was produced early and is being refined as professional advice and public consultation conclude. This is normal feasibility stage practice. Operation running costs are not required in the 26-27 budget because the council has not resolved to operate them. The trustee position is also clear. RCC has not appointed trustees for many years, and the Charity Commission is individual trustees only. Until the 1899 deed is recovered, no assumptions can be made about fixed numbers of RCC or OTC trustees. Governance is not irregular, responding to your email. Establishing a formal Victoria Hall Committee resolves the issues that's been raised about working groups and budget. I simply think that pulling the plug now, when we've already paid for the work for the solicitors, we have paid up to the point for the architects, that it seems premature to pull it right now. If we get to the point when we have when the solicitors have finished their work, then that's a different decision. It isn't one that should be made prematurely. So I wish to stick with the paper purely on the fact that this paper is purely to, exactly as it says, to approve submission of the Charity Commission applications, to establish the Victoria Hall Committee, as recommended by the solicitor in the solicitor's letter, to authorise the committee to approve expenditure. Well, we can write that letter to RCC ourselves and have no additional expenditure. And that's what this proposal is about. It seems really premature and baffles the hell out of me why we pull it now.
One of the problems I have, the big problem I have is this alarm bells that have rung about the still money. You've always said to us we've got £300,000 still money. It would appear we don't have it.
Wait a minute, I haven't always said it's come from the office. That's what we have.
Yeah, I'm just saying this.
No, so please don't characterise it personally, okay? Please don't characterise it personally.
I apologise for that. But the council has been told by the office, and we know there's been mistakes under your private meeting one with the UKPSC funding. That was all wrong, wasn't it?
That's because, look, that's nothing to do with this.
Well, it is, because
can I ask a question of the clerk?
It's very relevant, because if we don't have the money, we can't go forward with it.
But the fact, okay, can I answer that now? 2 points. One, I understand that our locum is in discussion with RCC about the situation with Cllr, and if it transpires that it isn't up to 300k, then that's a jolly legitimate reason for pulling it. Not before we know the situation. Secondly, I would simply say that, well, I just don't understand your motivation at all for trying to pull it now. It just seems to be too premature. Let's wait for the solicitor to come back.
It was the same.
And then we can make a decision.
It was said if we got the asbestos report, we would walk away. So to me, it's like we've spent £100,000.
We're not spending additional money. That's the point.
Victoria Hall in the last 2 years, and it's closed. And we have spent, as a council, nearly 2 years on this project, and we've achieved nothing. Sorry, you may.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anymore because I've said enough.
This is a very, very speculative project. There isn't a definite amount of money that it's going to cost us because we don't know what the end game is going to look like. So to me, it's gambling. It's gambling with public money. It's taxpayers' money, ratepayers' money, and I don't think we should be speculating that our money is, I mean, it's all right for us around the table because we're making decisions, but the residents of Oakham are having their money gambled on this white elephant project, and I don't think we should be in that game. That's not for us to do. And also, sunk money is no justification for spending more money. When you've spent money, it's spent. And it's like saying, well, we've spent 100,000, therefore we must then go and spend another 500,000. That's nonsense. That's not how you conduct business. And it's all that you've been saying makes no common sense whatsoever. And you talk about letters. There's chicken feed with what this is going to cost. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of pounds. And we don't have a lot of this money. And why would we assume that we want to spend that massive chunk of money just on this project? There are loads of projects this town needs the money to be spent on. If we commit ourselves to Victoria Hall, that means it negates the opportunity to spend it elsewhere. And I think it's very, very reckless to be spending or thinking of committing to this project, and that's why I think it should be pulled.
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
So my point is quite simply that we're not asking for additional money. I'm simply saying that rather than pull it ahead of the information that's going to be coming from the solicitors and from the architect, that we wait until that moment. We understand what the Cllr money is that we have. We've had 5 quotations for the work to be done. So really it just seems, well, I think foolhardy is the word I would use.
Well, I call it.
Let me finish, please. I did finish. I believe that it's reckless to actually pull it before the full information is available. And it's not costing us any extra money. So I don't understand the urgency to pull it now. Let's wait until the solicitors come back.
Can I just point 2 more things here? I asked for the survey. Day 1 of the survey you shared with me and Councillor Wadsworth, 11 people responded, and I think it was about 52–57% said they did not want this council to spend Cllr money or council tax money on Victoria Hall. I've asked for that report so that we can see. I emailed you.
Well, I don't read you so many emails, it's probably lost in the blizzard.
Yeah, it was marked Victoria Hall, and I thought we'd moved on from ignoring each other. And it was an important thing.
But if you want the survey, I'll send you the
council should have had it in a report tonight.
What?
Because my belief is that it's being withheld because residents don't want us to do it, because that's what I get told on the street.
Councillor Brooks, that is not what this is about.
Even trustees.
This is simply about waiting until we've got the information.
You've also said you don't want any money, but you're asking us to agree unknown solicitors' fees.
No.
You say, oh, we can write a letter.
So what
it's in the terms of reference
what it
of
says
your
here,
document that you want to write to RCC using the solicitor. So you're asking us to approve more expense. Now, everybody knows that they should have 4 trustees. Even if you write to them, they cannot make a decision because they are not the trustees. If Victoria Hall had the powers to change their trustees in the way they claim they did, because they didn't go through the charity division, then they could just say, Oakham Town Council, be our trustee. So Rutland County Council cannot make a decision on this because they have not appointed any trustees. It's the trustees that make the decision.
And
so appointing a solicitor to go to RCC is going to cost, what, £800 for the first letter. And, you know, the solicitor will tell you that they can't make the decision. And this is why I see it as all being mismanaged. Because only the trustees can meet and make that decision.
The letter from the solicitors didn't mention asking the trustees permission. It asked us to get in touch with RCC, not trustees.
But how do they know that RCC if they haven't got the deed? I've seen the deed and I have it somewhere at home and I'm going to find it. You know, the trustees removed it from the website because they didn't want people from Oakham Town Council or Rutland County Council, not the current ones. We're talking even before Councillor Ainsley was a trustee. They changed their constitution without legal authority, and that's why we're in the mess with Victoria Hall as it is now.
That's just why we appointed solicitors to act on our behalf, and
That RCC is involved.
I haven't got the letter.
The deed.
Did you read the letter from the solicitor?
I did.
The email. Didn't it say actually that they can deal with it, but the cheapest option is for us to deal with it? I think that's what it said.
But there's nothing we can deal with.
Yes, there is.
Because they are not trustees. Like we are not trustees. We have
the information they've
requested.
The information they've requested is whether RCC still have an interest in appointing 4 councillors, and that can still be overturned by application to the Charity Commission. So the whole thing is being geared up, and we're saying we run away. I really think it's the wrong time to be doing this.
then it's exactly the right time to be stepping away. It's
We're not spending money, why?
Because it's naive to think that there isn't going to be money that we're going to have to commit to. You keep saying you're not asking for money, but then you quite happily talk about solicitors who are charging £800 a bloody hour.
That's
So
not
it's
true. Didn't we just discuss when you approved payments earlier on that it's £9,800 fixed price? What has come up is that they asked us the question in the letter whether we should contact RCC to determine the status of the 4 trustees, and then they'll bring that forward to the charity commission. The point being that we can ignore the drafting of a solicitor's letter. We can just contact RCC and determine what their status is, and then that is brought forward to the charity commission within the budget that has already been approved. I find this amazing.
What I don't understand is if the solicitors don't have the deed, how do they know there should
Because
be
they go
4
to the charity commission to remedy that. I really don't
know. How did they know if they don't have the deed? Because I'm sure you didn't tell them that they should have.
I had no idea, because I understood.
They did a search and they found the deed, which anybody can pay for.
They haven't. That's not what's been said. That's not what's been said.
So how did they find out? How did they find out the need of 4 trustees? And this is what I don't understand, is why it's not been handled properly.
Well, it's been handled properly. We've been simply said, let this run to fruition, let the solicitors come back with a report, and that we will take the issue of contacting RCC and not ourselves determine what they believe the situation is, and then we pass it on to solicitors, and they take that to the charity commission. And that's all within budget.
Your terms of reference is asking us to approve you using a solicitor, but at this meeting...
Well, I personally would, that's the way I prefer to go, but that doesn't mean the council have to accept that at all.
But it's there's no alternative, it's in your terms of reference.
What terms of reference?
The terms of reference for the committee. It says in there that you want permission to...
I don't think it does.
And I read it before we came to the meeting, so I was on top of it.
Membership, quorum, delegated authority, approved and banned their members of the charity commission, including factual updates and response. So when the charity commission combined approved relationship, I don't believe it says that at all.
There's a terms of reference.
Yes, I've got them here.
And it very clearly said in there. Maybe you sent me something different again, I don't know.
I haven't.
But I
That's
don't
withdrawal accusation. I do not feed you false information. I send you what's available.
No, I didn't say you did it on purpose. I said sometimes it's happening that we're getting different documents.
Move on.
Yes, please.
I mean, as I said at the last meeting, we've engaged an architect, and as far as I've gone through the minutes, I can't find anywhere where it says this council discussed or talked about what the architect was doing. And you say you've got 5 quotes. Being in the construction industry, and we're dealing with some very large projects, I can tell you now, whatever budget you have got, if you've got the 350,000 to spend on this, and that's your quotes have come out of that, I don't know quite how they can quote when we've not had the survey for the building itself, for the asbestos. So I don't know quite what they're quoted on, probably changing the boiler or upgrading the toilets, I don't know. But 350,000, I can tell you now, if you had a month between the quote coming in and then starting work in September, which is what I understand we're engaging in people in September, because that was what was said last month, those prices will have gone through the roof. Because everything in the construction industry goes up daily. So
I don't disagree with that.
So I don't know, and my problem is, because we don't know how you're going to run it, how are you going to fund that building? It's not going to be from lettings, because if the lettings worked, people that had that booked wouldn't have walked away and found a different venue. And I don't know how you're going to make your money. And I can see you keep coming back and back because because we're tied into this. It'd be a bit like the toilets, when we couldn't get rid of the toilets because we're in a 99-year lease. So we ended up, it was something we wanted, I can't remember what it was to do when Alice Reeves was Clerk, and we were tied in and council alone tried his best to get us out of it, but it was a 99-year list and we were stuck, so we ended up paying out through the nose. And that's what we're going to end up doing here if we're not careful. Your 300,000 will disappear in a jot.
Can I just raise another point as well? Under point 4 of the terms of reference, delegated authority, it says that delegated authority will be to authorise expenditure for the preparation of correspondence to Rutland County Council. So you're asking there, effectively, for money, and request to approve draft communications provided by the council's solicitor. So again, there's money there. So there's costs that are being requested.
This is what you just told me didn't exist, Councillor Ainsley.
What's that?
This is your terms of reference for the Victoria Hall Committee, which is in this agenda item. And there's a lot of points I've raised with you today because you're asking for delegated powers to decide minor operational decisions. Now, legally, this is a legal terms of reference. What is minor?
Well, if you read the solicitor's letter, it'll tell you.
Your terms of reference have to define if we're going to give you delegated powers, and this has always been the issue, that the council has not been clear with the delegated powers, and it's not going to happen anymore. If you go into a court case, they decide what's a minor offence because it's listed. They decide what's a major offence because it's listed.
It's not.
This says
here.
This says minor. What is minor? Because under certain councillors, they could say that taking the roof off of Victoria Hall is minor. So this is one of the reasons I want to walk away, because you're telling me all the time.
I'm not telling you anything. This is solicitors.
You told me in the meeting that you were not asking for money. And you are asking for money here by saying in point 4 and 5.
Did I not say that actually the decision to actually get a solicitor's letter, whether they deal with RCC, whether they just write a letter for us to submit to RCC, or we can go it alone?
But that's not in your proposal. What you've put in front of us all tonight is a request that solicitors
if the sticking block is a solicitor's letter,
we have no costs associated with that, and you're a stickler for that. We had it with Sally-Anne's picnic benches thrown out 3 times because they were not proper quotes. We are talking about thousands of pounds.
No, we're not. We're talking about money that's already been spent. We've been asked whether we want. This money has been committed, and you're trying to pull it before this, on the basis that you've got the wobblies.
No, we haven't got the wobblies. We have not committed to this points 4 and 5. The solicitors' letters say it's outside.
Remove points 4 and 5, and we'll contact RCC independently. If that's the sticking point, then I propose that we remove 4 and 5.
It's the whole policy, the way it's worded, that I don't accept, and that's why I'm saying we walk away.
Can I put a question of the clerk, if I may? On delegated authority, it states there that provided these do not create new financial commitments beyond the approved budget. What approved budget?
The disbursement budget was approved. That was the point.
Only £1,500.
Exactly.
With all due respect, I'm asking the clerk because the clerk.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, the budget is that.
The responsible financial officer, and I'm asking because if you've only got £1,000 budget, what's this committee going to do?
What
You can't do anything.
Last meeting, 1,500 disbursement was agreed. Last meeting.
What the committee is going to do is that if you read the solicitor's letter, it quite simply says it's not uncommon for the charity commission to come back with a submission of these proposals that they've written here, to come back with minor amendments.
But the problem I have with it as well is because it's a committee, it's no different from council meeting. You have to give the legal 3-day notice. So
yeah, exactly. But the point is that we can then be given authority to make these minor amendments, whereas a working group cannot.
And the other issue I have is that £1,500, you sat there when I was quibbling what it was and said it was for fees or things to do with obtaining the deeds and things that the solicitor had already spent, and that's why I approved it, because it was money already spent.
No, it said that
And it
actually, proof of
says in-
expenditure.
It says in our minutes that it has to come back to council to show how it was spent. So it has nothing to do with the ongoing work. That you're asking us to
This is
do
going
that.
round in circles and the time's getting on. So let's have a vote. Let's get the vote done.
Well, does anybody else want to comment before I've got to be fair to everybody? Is there any more comments from anybody? Okay, so we know what the proposal was. Does it need to be repeated?
Yes, it does.
Okay, then basically the proposal is that Oakham Town Council do not continue with this project and that we hand back the matter to the trustees of Victoria Hall and the Charity Commission. And that's my proposal. Second. Do we have a vote, please?
In favour?
Sorry, where's that?
It was an amendment.
It's an amendment to the proposals on the table.
So that's on the table now, and we're asking people for show of hands who support that, please.
3.
3. Those against? 3. Any abstentions?
Councillor Ainsley, you're not supposed to coerce other
No,
councillors.
It's not coercion.
I heard you. That's not
John,
allowed.
was that coercion?
No, it's too late.
Thank you.
It's too late
No,
because
you're
I
not
went
allowed.
on to any abstentions. So, and I did hear you tell him to vote.
I heard you say, John.
Please keep the tone.
You cannot do that in a meeting.
Please calm down. I heard it.
What did you-
So the chairman heard him, asked him to vote.
No, it didn't.
The tone.
Yeah,
Can we
I've
keep it
asked.
respectful?
Yes, please. Can we have
My
silence?
apologies. I was looking for what we were voting on. I was looking over here, trying to find it.
Well,
That was the only reason.
yeah, but he asked you to vote.
He didn't.
Away.
Nudged. He said, John. That was all.
No, I heard. I can tell.
I'm big enough and old enough to make my own decision.
I know you are, but it was too late.
There's no
because
coercion
we moved
going
on
on
to abstentions. So we've got to be clear. We voted 3
3 for, 3 against.
3 against. And are you abstaining? Can I have a show of hands for
I've lost the
abstaining?
plot.
Yeah,
What are we voting on?
We're voting to walk away.
Oh, right.
So 3
Because you just
against.
mentioned extensions, so I'm just thinking we're voting on extensions.
Sorry.
Right, okay,
So
carry on.
we voted and I moved on to abstentions, not extensions. And at that point, Councillor Harris hadn't voted. So I'm asking, are there any abstentions?
I was not intentionally abstaining.
But you didn't vote when I asked for the votes.
Well, we're going to do a better. The clerk has given me what the vote was.